championship, Coach Jim Barker, who will be our color analyst for this game. The weather today is perfect for football. And now, let's send you back upstairs to Dave and Jim as we prepare for the beginning of the game.
Thank you very much, Christina St. Marche. Dave Rowe in the booth along with the coach, Jim Barker. And Jim, Christina said it best. I don't think you could ask for a better fall day for a football game. We've got sunshine, fields in good condition, and we got two teams that are ready and raring to go.
Yeah, when you talk to coaches, and both coaches talk about their defense and their eyes light up, you know you're going to be in for a hard-hitting, smash-mouth football game. And when you play for the championship, the national championship of junior football, I think that's what you want to have. You want to have intense defense. Both defensive fronts are outstanding. But you got two teams that want to run the ball, and it should make for a great ball game.
We heard a lot of similar things when we talked to both the coach of the Okanagan Sun, Jay Christensen, and the coach of the Edmonton Huskies, Mike McLean, who, by the way, former teammates with the Edmonton Eskimos in the early 90s. As you say, establishing the run early is the key, and they are looking to lay some licks on people on defense. I think Mike McLean said it best when he said, some teams want tacklers, some teams want hitters, we want herders.
Yeah, and when you talk to their players, they say, what does it take to stop James Green? And and to a man, they say, we need to hit him in the mouth early. So James Green is the key to what Okanagan does. He's responsible for 45% of their offense. They're going to run him. They're going to throw to him. He's the key for Edmonton to stop, for them to have success in this ball game. Okanagan is coming to the Prairies for the 8th time, have yet to win coming to the Prairies. They're the national champions in 2000 when they beat the Hilltops at the Apple Bowl, but this is their first time. They're looking for their first win here on the Prairies.
And if you're just going to look at this game on paper, you look at the Okanagan Sun. They ran the table through BC 10-0, gave up an average of not even a touchdown a game, while Edmonton had to take a longer route. They were 5-3 on the regular season, but they upset the perennial champion Saskatoon Hilltops, and they have got to be riding high coming into this game.
Yeah, and talking to people from the Hilltops last night, they said that the game the Edmonton Huskies played, Don McDonald from Saskatoon, who's been in junior football for over 40 years, said it was the hardest hitting defense that he's seen in 40 years. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this Husky defense.
It's going to be Okanagan kicking off to Edmonton. Back to receive, you've got number 11, Jason Marat, for the Edmonton Huskies. Getting ready to kick off for Okanagan is Jason Cook, who's their kicker, split kicker, punter combination on this Okanagan team. And something to talk about that we'll touch on when we get time. The biggest player that's going to have an impact on this game is a player that's not here, and that's Jeff Halverson for the Okanagan Sun, the player who unfortunately lost his life earlier on this season, and his presence is hanging heavily over this game. Time now for the kickoff. The 2004 Canadian Bowl is underway. It is a short kickoff. A little bit of confusion there. 39 running the ball back, and he is stuffed, and stuffed hard. 39 for the Edmonton Huskies. That's Jason Bobst, who's the middle linebacker, and he's not the usual guy you want running back kicks.
Well, they kicked it off to Justin Cooper, and I guarantee you, he's a defensive lineman, and he wanted nothing to do with running the ball, so he handed it to somebody with a running back number. And here we go. We're 28-yard line.
First and 10 for the Edmonton Huskies from their own 28-yard line. Kelly McBrien, he's got Adam Cottrell and Christian Minucci as his slotbacks. Tyler O'Gorman, Josh Myshak in the backfield with him. Handoff up the middle. And that goes for a gain of about 2 yards.
That's Josh Myshak. He's a big fullback. Edmonton runs a version of the wing tee. It's a lot of fullback traps and sweep plays. They run a tight end, which Okanagan hasn't seen this year. So it's going to be interesting to watch Matt Lammerding, who is probably the best defensive lineman in the country, playing for Okanagan with a tight end on him for the first time.
No one's seen a tight end since Nick Araki with the old Montreal Concorde, I think. That's going back. Back to pass on second down. So much for establishing the run. Swarm from the outside. And on the tackle for Okanagan. That was number 42. That was Matt Lammerding, the All-Canadian.
Yeah, we just talked about him. He is probably the premier defensive lineman. He was all-CIS at the University of Saskatchewan last year. And you'll see him here McBrien wanted to throw the tight end Minucci up the seam, well covered, and Lamardine kept coming and got the sack.
So the strategy out of the gate is to establish the run, but when you're held to a 2-yard gain on first down, a little hard to go for that run on 2nd and 8 in the shadow of your own goal post. Back to punt now is number 28, Steve Wazimerski for the Edmonton Huskies. Low snap and a low kick, kind of tumbling end over end. That definitely takes a Husky bounce. Green lets it roll. He's going to get the 5-yard, no-yard penalty on that. James Green to the outside, and a shoestring tackle.
Boy, it looked like we had a clip there, but the official was right there and didn't call it. James Green was not only was their leading rusher, he replaced Jeff Halverson, who you talked about, his untimely death after the 6th game. And Green moved from slot back to tailback. He's also their leading punt returner, leading kick returner in the BC Football Conference. So he's an outstanding player. It was a nice, pretty good coverage by the Huskies to keep him to a short gain.
What can you say about Jay Christensen and the job he's done with this team? Something like that, a tragedy in the middle part of the season, it could devastate the team, and
no yards.
Forgive them easily.
Number 24, Edmonton.
Tony Idaluca was named the Coach of the Year, and Tony does a wonderful job with the St. Leonard Cougars. But the job Jay Christensen did, holding this whole organization together and drawing strength from Jeff Halverson, and it was just a tremendous job by him.
And of course, St. Leonard was the team that Okanagan punched their ticket on way to the Canadian Bowl here this afternoon. Here's our first look at the Okanagan offense running out of the I formation. Handoff to the tailback, and a little bit of a slip there as Billy McConkey handed off to James Green. And I was a little bit concerned about the footing earlier on, Jim. We walked the field this morning. There was a lot of frost. We were hoping that would come out by game time, but maybe a little greasy out there still.
Well, one of the problems when you play in Commonwealth Stadium, you usually bring 4 or 5 pairs of shoes, is finding the right shoes to wear. So it will be interesting to see if they're able to keep their footing.
Lining up, 2-back set. James Green offset to the right. 3 receivers to the left. Back to pass, has time, and all of a sudden that time disappears. And that swarming Edmonton Husky defense coming in, and that was Matt LeMay, defensive lineman, making the tackle there.
Matt LeMay and Greg Whalen, the 2 defensive ends for the Huskies, are not very big. LeMay comes in at 208 and Whalen at 210. They're both very fast guys, very good pass rushers. Whalen led the team with...
Pats are now back to punt for the Okanagan Sun. One half of the linebacking Pats are brothers. And interestingly enough, again, a lot of similarities between these 2 coaches in their approach, both Jay Christensen and Mike McLean, when they talked about what they were going to do to the quarterback. Fumbled snap. Now Patzer barely gets it away. What a great job he did getting that off. On the return, up the middle, and not a whole lot of running room for Jason Murrah there. Although Edmonton is going to get a little bit better field possession for this drive. They're going to start from their own 35. As I was saying, both coaches, they say they want to concentrate on defense, but as far as the rush goes, not a lot of stunts, not a lot of blitzes. They're going to rely on those big horses up front to get it done.
Yeah, both teams they feel like the strength of their team is their front 7. And those first 2 series we saw it was very difficult to run.
Kelly McBrien under center. Off to the left, Tyler O'Gorman, and there is a toss to number 35, Myshak. He gets to the outside, and looks like he is going to make a gain of 7 or 8 yards before he gets forced out of the sidelines by the middle linebacker, Duncan McLean. And Duncan McLean is another guy who's going to be key. He's expected to make a lot of tackles for Okanagan today. Yeah, their defensive scheme. Oh, here you're going to see Kelly McBrien here calling his own plays. This was something Mike McLean talked about. Said 5th-year quarterback. He's going to call his own plays here. So McBrien in the no-huddle offense. Back, quick play. Up the middle, it is O'Gorman. He's got a hole, and he's got a lot of daylight. Cutting to the right. Still going. Finally hauled down. Dave, when you go to the no-huddle offense, you throw a team out of rhythm. They're used to huddling. They're used to getting the call from the sideline. And right now you see Edmonton come up to the line of scrimmage again. McBrien is calling everything on the line of scrimmage. When you have a 5th-year quarterback, what a huge advantage. Darby Ray finally making the tackle after a big gain, and you saw a couple of the Okanagan defenders slipping and sliding again. So the footwear issues coming back to it. McBrien with split backs now, and once again, option pass over the middle, has a man wide open. Touchdown, Edmonton Huskies. That's Simon Fowl, their leading receiver.
And what a great play call. The play action just hit right in his vacated area. That play will help their running game down the stretch because the free safety now is going to be forced to stay in the middle and won't be allowed to come up to play that run.
And Jim, as a couple of Calgary guys, we've been talking about the need to have a running game, and boy, did Okanagan bite and bite hard on the play action there, and that left Simon Fowl wide open over the middle. 6-0, now looking to make it 7-0 with the convert. So with the convert, that makes it 7-0 for the Edmonton Huskies over the Okanagan Sun. 10:48 to go in the first quarter. You're watching the 2004 Canadian Bowl, brought to you by Signature Entertainment. We talked about the keys to this game, and Simon Fowl, even though these are two teams that want to establish the run and establish the run early, when you've got a guy like Simon Fowl, this is a big play guy that can make things happen.
Well, that's right, and I think that the receivers become so key because when you're a team we talked to Jay Christensen, the number one thing they had to do was stop Edmonton's run. Well, to do that, you need to get support from your secondary. So I think what a great play call early in the game by Mike McLean or Kelly McBrien, if he's the one who made it, which I believe he was because Mike said he would call the plays, to now that will open their running game. They will not be as fast coming up. And I think it's just an important part, even though the Edmonton wants to run the ball, that will help to open it.
Don't expect to see that no-huddle offense through the game. Mike McLean telling us this is just something that he wanted to try on the second series, and it worked to perfection. Now there is the kickoff over the middle, not deep, and they are doing a great job of keeping the ball away. They are not allowing Green to get a clean shot at fielding that ball. He's still got a seam, breaking tackles up to the 25-yard line. James Green doing a great job before he was finally brought down by the return team of the Edmonton Huskies. I think that shows you what a weapon this guy is when he has to run around, scramble around to field that ball. Looks up, identifies that seam, and immediately makes his move.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the top returners in junior football in Canada, and it's important now for him to get this running game going. He's running behind those big linemen from the hat, Dan Bischke and Chris Morrison, so they need to open up some holes for him.
Billy McConkey wants to make something happen here. No back set, little quick hitch to the outside. Finds number 80, Dave Court. Dave Court, an Alberta boy out of Raymond High. Looks like he's going to gain about 9 yards on the play, and that's not a bad play call by the Okanagan Sun. Just looking
try to loosen him up, do the same kind of thing that Edmonton did to them. J.R. LaRose, the best corner, best defensive back for the Huskies, has 3 interceptions this year. Big, tall, 6'1", 200-pounder, a real good-looking player.
Back to the eye set, where Kelly McBrien is a guy that you look to really break plays. Billy McConkey is a guy who's more identified from the game manager school. Now a handoff up the middle. It is Green, and he is going to be close to the first down, Jim. I think he looks like he's about a half a yard short.
Yeah, he's short. He's short by about a good 2 yards, Dave. That's one of the things when you're a coach and you're used to being in the booth, you get pretty good at seeing those, seeing those yard lines. So he's a good yard and a half short. And Okanagan's going to be forced to punt this early in the game.
What do you think about the start for the Okanagan Sun so far? Do they look a little disorganized? Maybe that was one thing that Jay Christensen was worried about. He says we're worried about is coming out too emotional.
Yeah, well, when you have a situation like they had with Halverson, this team wants to win so bad for him, but it's like Jay said, he's talked to his players not about winning the game for them, but to play like Jeff would play, and they just need to settle down.
Greg Whalen almost blocking that punt before Marat fielded it. Great coverage by Okanagan, just stringing Marat to the outside.
You know what? One of the things that's real interesting watching these two teams play for the first time, the special teams play is so solid on both sides. They're both covering punts very well. They're covering kicks very well. You know, both kickers and punters are doing just a great job of giving their team field position.
And a couple of rough snaps for him to work with, but they're getting the job done so far. McBrien back up under center. There's that split T you were talking about as O'Gorman takes the ball, a handoff going to the left, and he is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Mish Okalu, defensive back, coming up to help out with the tackle there. And that wing T, as you were talking about, Jim, you've got a fullback right behind the quarterback and then a tailback who lines up left or right as the play call dictates.
Yeah, it's based a lot on misdirection, and here we go with the no huddle again. They're going to stay with it.
Kelly McBrien. Back about a three-step drop over the middle, and he's got Simon Fowl once again, and Fowl making the catch, immediately tackled by number 26. That's Jordan Weavers, the cornerback out of Lethbridge.
And Jordan Weavers is the best defensive back on the Okanagan Sun, and they're going right after him. They're gonna make sure that see where he's at.
And when you've got a guy like Fowl in front of you, Weaver's showing some good respect there, but it looks like almost allowing Fowl to make the catch before he came up to make the play. Split backs now for McBrien. First and 10 from the 51-yard line. Handoff to number 35, Myshak. And again, he gets stuffed. So the attempts to establish the run, which both coaches wanted to do, not so successful so far. Oddly enough, the pass.
That, Dave, and I think, you know, again, I think it's helped him. I watched the free safety on that play. When you don't get that support to stop the pile push, there's 2nd and 5. If they can get 5 yards of crack running the ball, they'll be.
Myshak side, McBrien back to pass. Has a man, and Foul. Up the ball. Actually checked that. Adam was out there for that
I think that was Christian Minucci. Ran a wheel route right up the sideline. 260, and they ran last time they ran that, tried to get the corner to bite on that and then run wheel route and run with Minucci.
And again, a tight end in an offense, something that hasn't been seen in close to 20 years in the CFL. It's got to be a tough adjustment for that defense.
Yeah, and Okanagan and Jake.
And that is number 36 for the Edmonton Huskies, Corey Lacusta, the linebacker, who is playing as an upback.
Again, great special teams play on the Okanagan Sun, very prepared. We're not fooled at all by the fake, and you know, I'm not sure I agree with that call this early in the ball game. You're kind of controlling the game. Play the field position game. Your special teams are doing a great job. Now they give the ball to the Sun with a little bit of momentum on their side of the field.
Great play, great turnover now for the Okanagan Sun. They take over on downs right at midfield on the Edmonton 54-yard line. Just an interesting story about Kelly McBrien. Great quarterback. You obviously see the tools this guy brings to the table, but he says when he actually became a quarterback was a couple of years ago when he tore his knee up, and as he was coming off that injury, he says, I was a Doug Flutie run around and scramble and just try to make it up as I go along quarterback. So coming off that knee injury and losing some mobility, he says, I had to become more of a pure quarterback, more of a playmaker.
Well, he not only came off a knee injury, he was in an automobile accident in 2002 that they didn't know if he would live. And he survived that. He came back. Again, he's a fifth-year guy. Mike McLean speaks volumes about his leadership qualities, about what he brings that way. And we've seen that with the no-huddle offense. And I think Kelly McBrien, he's thrown 17 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions. They win with defense. And when you don't throw interceptions and give them field position, you're going to win a lot of football games. That's why this call surprised me when Mike McLean decided to fake the punt this early in the ball game in that position. You lose the field position that you've had the entire game.
And suddenly momentum switches over, and it's advantage Okanagan Sun. Billy McConkey.
The Sun has to take advantage of this now. They need to get some first downs and truly change field position. And now they're coming out in more of a spread type of set. So it'll be interesting to see what they do here.
So if you're calling the plays for Okanagan, you want to get some momentum established, you want to try and get something going, do you go to more of those short passes, more of those high percentage plays that are going to gain you 4 or 5 yards?
You know, what I would do here is I would try to do a little bit of play action, maybe some screens, get McConkey a little bit of confidence. He's been a 43% passer through the season, but in the playoffs has averaged 170 yards a game throwing the ball. So I think you need to get McConkey some confidence back there, run a little bit of play action, try to get him off a green a little bit, because he is the guy you got to have be successful. 14
touchdown passes, but 10 interceptions for Billy McConkey, so confidence is the key. Confidence and game management. Now McConkey, handoff up the middle, a fumble, and that is going to be Husky ball. just a totally messed up play. So on defense, 56, that was Justin Cooper, who's one of the keys to this defense, getting in there, making the grab, and all of a sudden, forget that momentum.
Justin Cooper's a young man who we brought to training camp with the Stampeders back in 2002. He's been a defensive end. 4 games ago, Mike McLean moved him into defensive tackle, and that kind of changed their whole defense around. They now can stop the run, anybody's run.
We asked him how they beat Saskatoon Hilltops, and he said Justin Cooper and middle linebacker Jason Bopst were the keys. Now McBrien back. There is a toss in the backfield to Myshak. Myshak strung out to the outside and pushed out of bounds. That was number 40, Andrew Patzer, coming over to make the play.
Well, and Matt Lammerding seems to have his hand on every single play. And here we go with the no huddle again.
I'm surprised they're going to that as much this early. I thought the feeling I got when we were talking to Mike McLean that he was going to just use it for the one series. Okay, it worked. So let's see if they can capture a little bit of that magic again. Now McBrien back to pass on second down, over the middle, has a man. And we've got flags all
everywhere.
over the place.
You're going to have a roughing the passer.
James Watson making the catch downfield. The flag coming down?
Yeah, I believe Hiro Nakano hit the quarterback late. Now, what the flag is down here is probably an illegal contact. So they're both going to be against the Sun.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the contact on that was because James Watson just looked like he was wide open.
It was on the underneath route. The halfback was jamming, and if you jam past 5 yards, that's going to be a penalty. So I believe that was that penalty, but that's not the one that they'll take. They have the completion. They're going to go 15 yards from the 29-yard line, I believe, because they had the roughing the passer, which tacks on. So this is a costly penalty for Okanagan. This is going to should put them inside the 15.
7:04 left on the clock in the first quarter. The Edmonton Huskies 7, the Okanagan Sun 0. I wouldn't say, Jim, that it's been all Huskies so far, but the Sun just really haven't been able to get anything going with any kind of sustained pressure.
Yeah, there's no question about that. The Sun offense has to pick it up. Their defense is playing well. They gave up the 2 big plays. First the run, and then the play action pass for the touchdown. Other than that, they've been playing very solid. Their special teams have been solid, but the fumble right after your special teams makes a big stop. You just can't do those kinds of things when you're playing in a championship type game. 2
big penalties, and all of a sudden here you are backed up against your own goalpost. It is going to be 1st and 10 Edmonton, just inside the 15-yard line. McBrien with that T backfield, a little bit of confusion there, but he gets away, a pass into the end zone. And once again, he had James Watson open, but Watson unable to make the adjustment and get to the ball.
Well, that's the misdirection, Dave. That's what you're trying to do, is send different guys in different directions and then create situations where your linebackers are slow getting underneath the route. They did a nice job that time. McBrien missed his target.
You've got to have a fast, mobile offensive line to be able to run an offense like that with all the moves they have to do up front. McBrien again under center, split backs, 3-step drop, quick hit over the middle to O'Gorman, touchdown, Edmonton Huskies.
Nice throw there by Kelly McBrien, just to lay it in to the fullback running a little circle route. Very, very well designed play by the Huskies.
Tyler O'Gorman with that quick hit. Came out, went in motion to the left, and then just cut into the middle, and he was wide open, just carried the Okanagan defenders.
You know, you talked about the offensive lineman for the Huskies. In talking to Mike McLean, Lee Hersoon, who came back after not playing for 2 years, then came back this year, became the center. Their team a lift, gave their offensive line a lift, gelled. So he felt that was the key to
6:41 left on the clock. You're watching the 2004 Canadian Bowl, brought to you by Signature Entertainment.
The Jim Barker School of Football is about building champions, and we have the championship rings to prove it. The world of professional football is a competitive arena. We will show you how to become more agile, stronger, and quicker. We know football and prepare you for the upcoming Spring CFL Combine. Jim Barker knows what pro scouts are looking for in young Canadian players. When it comes to the game of football, it's a matter of who's more prepared. Do not trust your football future to anyone but the best. If you want to be a professional, you need to train with the professional. Jim Barker, School of Football.
6:41 left on the clock, and it is all Edmonton Huskies right now, 14-0. Dave Rowe along with Jim Barker bringing you all the action on a gorgeous, gorgeous late October afternoon at Commonwealth Stadium. Steve Wazimerski back to kick, and again, Jim, another low kick, but this time James Green able to field it cleanly. He got a little bit of daylight up the middle, taking it back to the 35-yard line before he's brought down.
Sometimes it's more difficult to cover when the ball gets by him like that first one, because guys get out of their lanes and they're not sure. That kind of kick, the Huskies covered it very, very well. He got a little bit of a crease. Good field position. This is a critical possession for the Sun. They have to get something going. They have to show their defense, you know what, we're going to keep us in this game.
If you're Jay Christensen, what are you telling your team now, just to try and stay focused, stay composed?
Yeah, your defense has got to play by play because until the offense can get it untracked.
So once again, Billy McConkey back up under center. Got two running backs in the eye. And time count violation. Everything.
I think it's illegal procedure. I think you got problems on the offensive line with movement.
We have time count.
You're right, time count.
Number 8, Okanagan.
Which the first play of a possession,
yeah,
you hate to see that. You know, you like to know what you're going to do, what you're going to start your next series with, and you hate to see that. Again, you have Billy McConkey, who's in really his first year playing. He started the season as a starter, then lost his job for 5 games, has come back and has played very well since he's taken over the starting job again.
McConkey gets the play off in plenty of time. A handoff up the middle, driving. It looks like a gain of about, let's call it 4 yards.
Well, Jason Bobst in there, Justin Cooper, Brad Chamberlain, they're not big, but those guys in the interior of the Edmonton defense are just so physical, and you're going to see them here. Bobst will step up right there and be able to make the tackle. So they're a tough defense to run on.
Dave Simpson, the fullback, trying to open some holes for James Green. Simpson, number 32. Green, number 3, the tailback. So now 2nd down and 8. Ball on the 36-yard line. And McConkey back to pass. Looking over the right side. And he just underthrew his man there, but that was throwing into coverage. Edmonton looking very, very good on the coverage there. That was Jordy Burroughs over there covering at the half.
Well, they can't put McConkey in situations where he's 2nd and 8 and Edmonton can pin their ears back, know he's coming, and they're going to rush 4. They feel like their front 4 can rush anybody in the country, and then they drop everybody off, and it just puts too much pressure on McConkey. They've got to keep themselves out of those 2nd and long situations.
Well, not the way you wanted to respond at all. Another 2 and out, and once again, it's Andrew Patzer back to punt. Jason Murrah back deep again, and he shanks this one. Takes a very fortunate bounce for the Okanagan Sun, and on the return, that's Thomas Dathan picking it up. Dathan going to the sidelines. What, he just got stuck.
That's the advantage of having a linebacker being your punter, because Andrew Patzer that time went down and laid a lick on him. It looked, Noel Prefontaine loves to do that, and that time having a linebacker as your punter paid off for him. You'll see him lay a lick on the returner here.
Yeah, you don't see too many combination linebacker punters. I remember some guy named Guano, again, as we look back in the past of the Montreal Alouettes, but man, that was a big hit. And Okanagan just looking for anything to give them a little bit of momentum right now. McBrien again with that motion and over the middle. Had a man
That's
right
the tight end, Christian Minucci. And again, what they did, the little play action brought the linebackers up and found Minucci in the hole where the linebacker should be covering in the zone defense that Okanagan's playing.
Christian Minucci, the tight end. So you just have to get used to saying that again. Not a term you've used in the CFL or
he's an impressive player. He's a big 6'3", 260-pounder, great blocker, and has shown now he can catch the ball, he can run.
Tall guy, big arms, big hands. Mike McLean said this guy can scratch his ankles without bending over, and that's what you want to have. Simon fouled, and that one was tipped away, and that was a great bit of defense by Dustin Patzer, the older half of the linebacking Patzer brothers for the Okanagan Sun.
And the Patzers have a connection with the Huskies, as Dustin played a couple years with the Sun. His brother Andrew was playing with the Huskies. He wanted to play with his brother, came up here both Patzer boys have a connection with the Huskies.
Okanagan recruiting from all over Western Canada when you look up and down their roster. So here we go, 2nd and 10 now for the Huskies from the 40-yard line. McBrien again, the play action to O'Gorman. Looks like he's going to keep this one himself. Looking for the first down marker, and he gets there, and a flag down on the play late.
I think you're going to get a clip here, an illegal block downfield.
Now that might be a little bit of a break now for the Okanagan Sun. On the tackle that time around, that was Namdi Meitu, number 4 for Okanagan. He's a guy they're counting on to make some plays, although he's known, I think, more as an interception, more as a ball hawk than a tackler.
Yeah, he's a young man out of Calgary. You talked about how they recruit all over. They have 12 starters from Alberta. So they have a couple, they're 2 offensive linemen, Bishke and Morrison, both from Medicine Hat, Josh Como from, they do a lot of recruiting in the Alberta area. So for a lot of these kids, they're coming home. And Jeff Halverson, the young man who passed away, was from Grand Prairie and actually used to play with the Wildcats up here and then went down and was in his 2nd year with the Sun.
Took a year off last year just to do his own thing, did some track running, and I understand that his old high school coach from Grand Prairie was in the dressing room to address the Okanagan Sun before the game. Now 2nd down and 20. And that's, if that doesn't inspire you, nothing will. 50-yard line, 2nd down and 20. Let's see what McBrien brings to the table now. 7-step drop, a little swing pass out to O'Gorman. And O'Gorman has some blockers in front of him. But Okanagan just allowing him to catch that ball underneath and then moving in to make the tackle before he was able to do too much of anything and get anywhere near that first down marker.
Those clipping penalties and holding penalties will kill you offensively in the Canadian game when you only have 3 downs. And they're going to punt this one. I'll guarantee you they're not going to fake this. They want to put the Okanagan Sun back inside the 10 and force them to get some first downs out of there.
Jordan Fast, number 56, was in on that tackle for the Okanagan Sun. He is described as one of the leaders on defense, 6'1", 240. And talking about recruiting from far away, he is a Winnipeg boy. Back to punt one more time. Steve Wazimerski gets a beauty away, and Green just watches as that rolls out through the end zone. That's 2 yards short of being the perfect punt, Jim.
That was a great try. Wazimerski, I saw him play earlier this year against the Colts, and he is an impressive both punter and place kicker. That was a great effort. He missed it by 2 yards. Maybe trying to be too fine with it. I think a lot of times punters try to be too fine and put it right out on the 1 instead of aiming to put it out on the 5-6 yard line and give yourself a little bit of leeway.
Wind not really much of a factor one way or the other in this game this afternoon. So once again, here we go. Billy McConkey back under center for the Okanagan Sun as they try to get something going. Green, the sole setback, and he is going to take the ball up the middle for a gain of about 2 or 3 yards.
Again, that's Justin Cooper, Brad Chamberlain. That interior of that defensive line is very active. They're going to have to do some other things on first down. This is about the fourth first down that they've run the ball. They fumbled it, but they've been giving the ball to Green. They need to do some other things. Now they've got Green flanked out.
2nd down and 7. Ball on the 38-yard line. McConkey back to pass, looking over the middle, has a man open. It is complete. And that was Chris Walsh, 5'8", 155, 4th-year player out of Vernon Secondary, and that is a big first down for the Okanagan Sun.
They just need to get something to get themselves fired up, to get their defense fired up, so their defense doesn't feel like they have to play perfect. And that's a great throw by Billy McConkey, standing in, feeling the pressure of that Edmonton Husky front. I'd like to see him throw again here on first down, and they're back in the eye.
You want to establish the run, but it comes a point you got to move away from it and try and get going on offense. Let's see what happens.
There you go, play action.
That is a great ball. Once again, over the middle, has a man open. What a great catch. Juggled and caught. That was James Moran, the slot back out of the Chilliwack Giant. Another big play, and Okanagan might have something going here, Jim.
Well, James Moran was their Rookie of the Year. When they lost Jeff Halverson, that's the position that James Green was playing. When James Green went back to becoming the tailback, Moran got his opportunity, and he was named Rookie of the Year for the Sun, and that was a spectacular catch.
One guy you haven't seen much of in the Okanagan offense is Duncan Akers. He split wide left. He is playing with an injured quad, and they weren't sure how much they'd get out of him. Now you go back to Green with the run. And that's not a bad call after the 2 quick passes. You gain about, looks to be about 5 yards on first down, and that opens up some options for you on 2nd and 5.
Yeah, all they got to do is spread them out a little bit, get Edmonton thinking about other things besides Green from tackle to tackle. So I'd like to see them now, continue to keep spreading the field. I think Edmonton doesn't substitute. They can utilize some of the mismatches that they're going to be able to create.
McConkey with his backs in the eye. Green is deep. 2 receivers left. McConkey fumbles the snap. And as quick as you build up that momentum, there it goes.
Those kind of mistakes, that's the second time that they've either fumbled an exchange from center, and they've had the fumble with the fullback. Again, you have a young quarterback in Billy McConkey. You got an experienced quarterback in Kelly McBride. You haven't seen that happen with the Huskies.
And this is something that the Okanagan Sun haven't seen. They were so dominant through BC throughout the entire regular season. They haven't seen a whole lot of adversity. They didn't give up a whole lot on defense, didn't give up a whole lot of points. And suddenly to be seeing 15 points up on the board for the opposition, now they're going to try a field goal. It is going to be a 35-yarder. Jason Cook. There's the snap.
45-yarder.
45-yarder, and that is going to be wide and to the left. And this one is going to be run out. That is Andrew Askin.
That play is the coach's, your heart goes in your stomach every time you try one of those long field goals, because you have offensive linemen that are protecting, that are now down covering kicks, and it just like every time we tried a long one, 45 or more, my heart would drop to my stomach, and you just hope.
We're now joined by former Edmonton Eskimo and current CJFL Edmonton Wildcats president Barry Kowalski. Barry, I saw you walking earlier today, kind of inspecting the surface. What can you tell us about the playing field today?
Playing field's in excellent condition. Players should have no problem whatsoever. They've changed a few cleats, but they're pretty well going with the half-inch, and it should be good all game.
Great, good enough. Okay, let's take you back up to Dave and Jim.
Up on the field there, and we've got a face mask there, first down. And Jim, that play didn't go anywhere, and a little bit of pushing and shoving after the play, and maybe some temper starting to get hot on the Okanagan side.
Well, it was one of those where the running back kept his feet moving. They were trying, people flying in there. I think you'll see it right here.
Unnecessary roughness, number 42, Okanagan.
I'm not sure
First
about.
down.
Oh no, it wasn't even Lammerding. It was somebody who was trying to come in and help. Lammerding had him wrapped up. Somebody else wrapped around and got his face mask. But that's good running. I believe, who was that? Meshach?
I believe that was Meshach that had the ball there.
If you can keep your feet moving, keep up, good things can happen, and that's what happened there. But I'm really impressed with this Matt Lammerding. Boy, Jay Christensen said he thought he was the best defensive lineman in the country, and he's playing like it.
So penalties accounting for another big gain in yardage for the Huskies. There's that misdirection again, the handoff.
Guess who?
Justin Fowl.
Matt Lammerding again takes on 2 blockers and is able to make the play on the counter. I think they need to run the ball away from number 42, Dave.
That is the end of the first quarter. After one quarter, it is the Edmonton Huskies 15, the Okanagan Sun nothing. You're watching the 2004 Canadian Bowl, brought to you by Signature Entertainment. So now the team's changing sides, getting ready to start that second quarter. Jim Barker, and I didn't see much out of the Okanagan Sun in that first quarter. They had that one series.
Well, the beginning of that, the end of that first quarter, they started to spread the ball out. They would throw on first.
Game on forward.
A hometown hero trying to escape his past.
I came here to meet my father.
And who might that be?
In a small town that plays by its own rules.
Welcome, please, Keith Getler!
Wake up, Keith! Come on, rebels!
But when secrets secrets are left unspoken.
Cassandra Jones came by the station this morning. Some football players bumped her off the road last night.
Wasn't me. You gonna arrest one of my boys?
The truth remains untold.
You arrest them. You cuff them. You get them kicked off the football team. Put their pictures in the paper, because that's how folks like me get justice around here.
So what are you gonna make me do? Apologize.
Now,
She's my daughter, all right?
when tragedy hits close to home,
I need you to tell me who did this.
it's time to take a stand. Can a man of honor uphold the law and still keep the peace?
The town will turn on you, Billy.
You took an oath to uphold the law, not to make everybody happy.
It's not about winning. It's about finding the courage to do what's right.
You quit on yourself and you quit on me.
I did not quit.
Starring Rick Johnson, Meatloaf, Ashley Johnson, and Zachary Ty Bryan. Rustin. Coming soon.
Back for the start of the second quarter at Commonwealth Stadium, 2004 Canadian Bowl. The Edmonton Huskies leading the Okanagan Sun 15-0, and the Huskies have the ball at their own 45-yard line. They have been dominant so far in this game. Kelly McBrien, as the open backfield, gets Myshak over the middle, and this is a big boom. And Josh Myshak still going. Looked like he gained about 15 yards on that play. And this guy, what a weapon he is. But runner, pass receiver, Jim, he can do it all.
Yeah, that's the same play they threw to O'Gorman down for the touchdown. Ran it to Myshak on the other side. They're coming back to with the no huddle. I think they can keep the Sun off balance by doing that.
So far, they've kept the Sun off balance. All that misdirection you talk about. Play action, backs in motion. Here we go on 1st and 10. All kinds of time, and McBrien wants to keep this one himself. Breaks a couple of tackles, and he is going to get another first down. Gained about 12 yards there before he was finally brought down by number 46, Dustin Patzer.
That's a great play by McBrien. And he wanted to throw Minucci up the seam with no play action. The linebacker was underneath it. He got sacked on this play earlier. This time he was able to break through, found some open territory.
Veteran quarterback identifying that he didn't have much downfield, taking it off and getting it done himself. 1st and 10 now. Ball on the 34-yard line. There's the handoff to Myshak. Myshak off to the right, and he is stacked up quickly. Gained maybe 2 yards on that play.
Now that is the play the Green Bay Packers made famous with Jim Taylor. They called it in the American football, they call it a weak side blunt. And Myshak is the kind of guy you want running that.
What a great name for a play, the weak side blunt.
The weak side blunt is one of the first plays I learned back in the late 70s out of this wing T offense. It's called a weak side blunt. You give it to a big fullback going to the short side away from the tight end.
The weak side blunt. Speaking of Vince Lombardi, coming up at halftime, we're going to have a special documentary on the life and times of Vince Lombardi called Run to Win. Had a chance to preview that a little bit earlier, and that is some good stuff. One of the great legends of coaching. And
this is the kind of game Vince Lombardi would enjoy, that because of both teams are trying to run the ball, and Lombardi likes that. That's what he believes. I think the title of it is Run.
Jim, what's with the sad eyes? We've been through this. And we agreed as partners, we'd be ready to make some tough choices. Right now, it's too expensive for both of us to go. Listen, I'll call you the second I'm done. Okay?
Next time, get on board with Jetsco super low fares.
Jetsco, pay a little, fly a lot.
Back now in the second quarter, 13:41 to go. Edmonton Huskies are on the march once again. 2nd down and 8 on the 32. Injured player for Edmonton. Sorry, for the Okanagan Sun, Carlos Guglielmi. Now a throw over the middle. Look back by Myshak there.
Great coverage by Dustin Patzer that time, covering that same little circle route.
So a loss of one of the starters for Jay Christensen on defense. So that is going to make it 3rd and 8. So let's see now. We're on the
40-yard field goal.
Steve Wazymerski coming in here.
He was 64% on the season.
Should be makeable from here. He's kicking into the wind. Is this one of those knee-knocking long field goal attempts you worry about, Jim?
Yes, it is, especially when you got James Green back there, but he drilled this one. I'm telling you, these kickers are very, very good kickers. That's great for the Canadian Football League to see junior kickers of this caliber, both Cook and Wazemersky.
And that is just, to me, one of the great things about Canadian football. I know a lot of people don't like the single point rewarding failure on a missed field goal. I like it because you just have that opportunity. You've got that threat that someone is going to take the ball out of their end zone and go all the way. Gizmo Williams won a Grey Cup doing it.
It makes the coaching decision on the long field goals much more difficult. We have the first half stats, and they're very even. 5 first downs for the Huskies, 2 for the Okanagan Sun. Total yards, total offense favors the Huskies, 163 yards to 47.
Let's go down to Christina St. Marche on the sidelines.
We're here with former CJFL Commissioner Ron White, or past CJFL Commissioner Ron White, and the recent winner of the coveted Ed Hennick Award. Ron, for our viewers, can you tell us a little bit about Ed Hennick?
Ed Hennick was an amazing man. He was my mentor, he was my friend, and when we lost him in 2000, we really lost a true gentleman of the game of football. He gave 50 years of his life to amateur football and to junior football. He was the spirit of the Hilltops as a part of the founding team. He was a player, he was a coach, he was a president. He did everything in football, and he did it all the right way with the right spirit. And it's a tremendous honor to be able to wear this ring in the spirit of Ed Hennick. It's a great tribute, and it's a humbling experience as well.
Well, he was a great man, and congratulations on winning that award.
Thank you so very much.
And back up to you, David Jim.
I'm not quite sure what the plan was there, but it was a short kickoff to Dan Bishke, and Okanagan recovering. And they're now taking over 1st and 10 on their own 50-yard line. Now on the bootleg, there's a throw downfield. And unfortunately overthrown was Chris Walsh. Billy McConkey overthrowing Chris Walsh again. Okanagan trying to get something going any way they can, Jim, and it's just not happening.
Well, they're trying to slow down the pursuit of the Huskies. You saw in that play, they faked the inside run. LeMay came down to play the run. That gave McConkey a clean edge. Their secondary did a great job, the Huskies, of covering it. And we think had an incomplete pass. Maybe
McConkey on 2nd down, backs in motion, short drop, looking right.
Got it.
Big looping pass, and throws it out of bounds. And I think Billy McConkey is just trying to make too many things happen all at once. He was looking downfield for number 83, James Moran, and that wasn't even close.
Well, they had the matchup they wanted. They had McBrien, the halfback, on Moran. They ran him on a little wheel route. They caught him in man coverage. It was a great call. Guy was open, and Billy's just got to be able to complete that ball. They need to make some plays.
Okanagan again, another opportunity lost. They took over with great field position. I'm still trying to figure out the thinking of Mike McLean on that short kickoff. It didn't look like a play that was designed to be recovered by the Edmonton Huskies. What was going on?
Well, usually you try to get it to somebody who's, so Green is not the returner, or maybe he just missed it. It's hard to tell.
Into the Sun now, recovering the ball is Jason Marois. And Marois up the middle. Got about 10 yards on the return.
Nice return, but very, very good coverage by the Sun. But Marois a nice little returner. He gets the ball back upfield, and again, it's impressive to watch these teams cover punts and kicks. You don't see a lot of flags for no yards. They're disciplined. That's just a credit to both these football coaches.
And a good punt by Andrew Patzer once again. He's done a great job getting the ball downfield. Now it's up to the Okanagan Sun defense to try and hold this Edmonton Husky offense, something they've had mixed success doing so far. Backfield, and I don't know if that was a misdirection or just a good old-fashioned busted play, Jim.
That looked like the good old-fashioned busted play, Dave. But, again, what happens, McBrien keeps alive, and I think you might have a face mask here.
Late flag coming in. We'll wait for the call on that. And again, the poise of a veteran quarterback looks back, sees nothing there, just puts his head down and just goes straight into the line.
They bobbled the snap, and there's the face mask.
And once again,
number 42, Matt Lammerding.
Matt Lammerding. And
he is an impressive player. Again, he was all CIS last year at the University of Saskatchewan, came back to play for the Sun, and he may be the best defensive lineman in the country.
We're going to have to check the stats to find out what the Sun are doing to themselves on penalties, but they're giving up yardage in big, big chunks at the worst possible time. Again, a broken play stop for no gain, but then all of a sudden, here's the Edmonton Huskies now with 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. Misdirection again. McBrien takes the ball. I think they tried that same play again, and it didn't work again.
It looked like the fullback might have gone the wrong way, or Kelly McBrien went the wrong way.
And someone went the wrong way because McBrien looked back, stuck the ball out, and there was no one home.
McBrien just slapped himself on the head. I'd be willing to bet he went the wrong way. Maybe he got his bell rung a little bit when he got that face mask.
10:57 now to go in the second quarter. Huskies up 18-0 on the Okanagan Sun.
But you know what? They have a busted play. They still got 3 yards, 2nd and 7. It's
when it's going your way, it's going your way. Kelly McBrien back. Myshak, lone man in the backfield, but this time it is thrown off to the slot back. Check that, Tyler O'Gorman, the fullback, coming out of the backfield, and that was just over his head.
Well, the throw to the left is the toughest for a young quarterback to make, and he was back on his heels, caused the ball to fly high, and he had O'Gorman wide open, just needed to set his feet, get the throw.
Well, despite the fact that they gave up a big chunk of yardage on the penalty, the Sun defense rising to the occasion here, and they are going to get the ball back, have a chance to get some decent field position. Steve Wazimerski getting ready to send it deep. Tumbling end-over-end kick. Green fields it cleanly, and here he goes up the sideline. Has some room for a split second.
He's averaging 10 yards a return this season, and that was outstanding, an outstanding return.
10-12 to go in the second quarter. You're watching the 2004 Canadian Bowl, brought to you by Signature Entertainment.
What are you looking at me like that for? We agreed to make a travel budget and to stick to it, remember? And right now, there's just no way we can both go. It's not me, it's the math. Besides, it's only a week.
Next time, get on board with Jetsco super low fares.
Jetsco, pay a little, fly a lot.
James Green with a 5-yard gain on first down for the Okanagan Sun. 9:40 to go now in the second quarter. The Edmonton Huskies leading the Okanagan Sun 18-0. And Jim, it was up to, well, Jay Christensen told us it was up to Billy McConkey just to manage the game, and I don't think he's really done a good job of doing that so far.
Well, he struggled here early. He's got to get himself into a rhythm.
McConkey with his backs in the eye on second down and 4. Deep toss to Green. Green coverage, trying to spread it out, and great swarming defense by the Edmonton Huskies. They did a fabulous job of shutting down every hole there, and it was Bowden Onishuk there forcing Green to the inside.
The Edmonton Huskies are not big. They have great speed on defense. It's very, very difficult to run lateral plays against a team that has great speed.
And once again, very quickly, a 2-and-out for the Okanagan Sun. Third down. Actually lost a yard on that play, so it's going to be 3rd down and 5. As Andrew Patzer checks back into the game.
That was a great job that time by Jordy Burroughs, forcing that thing back inside to the pursuit. And these guys can run on Edmonton's defense.
Mike McLean, an old linebacker from his Edmonton Eskimo days. Keys on his defense to shut down the other team's big weapons. Patzer now driving kick. That is back to Jason Murrah. Murrah taking it straight up the middle. And he gets stacked up in a hurry. A whole bunch of tacklers, including Sam Perrin, the linebacker, in on that play. And we've got another member of the Okanagan Sun struggling to get up. And that is number 56, Jordan Fast.
Yeah, he's the leader of that defensive front. There's some hitting out there, Dave. I'll tell you what, the special teams both sides. There's some serious. They call them slobber knockers among those defensive linemen and linebackers, and there's a lot of those slobber knocking hits going on.
And there is Jordan Fast down, and on the replay here we see Murrah going up the middle, and Fast just in on that stacked up tackle. Looks like he might have injured his shoulder on that play. Hard to tell.
Yeah, a lot of times what happens is you get a little burner, your neck moves a certain direction, you get a little bit of a burner, and I'm sure he'll be back. Again, Jay Christensen said, the heart and soul of that defensive front. I'm sure he'll be back.
Has to come off the field now, so it's going to be 1st and 10 for the Edmonton Huskies as they take over on their own 36-yard line. The key now for the Sun, yes, you have to stop them, but you also have to stop taking these penalties that are giving big yards to Edmonton.
Well, the other thing that could help them is if their defense could create a turnover and change the field position around. And again, you're at that point in the game where the offense isn't doing anything. The defense will start to take chances, feel like they have to make a play to give themselves a chance to win. So this is the time of the game where you watch for a guy maybe taking a chance, and they might give up a big play, but they may get one. And I think that's what they need right now out of their defense, is to create a turnover. This is a defense that's plus 28 this year. That's remarkable. They have 20 interceptions on the season. So there's no better time than right now for the Sun to get one.
So the Huskies now waiting for time to be blown back in.
Let's go, Dater!
And Kelly McBrien, so far, he's making it work. Even when it doesn't work, even when they have busted plays, they're still able to gain positive yardage. Huskies out of the huddle, setting up in the I formation. Now O'Gorman splits off to the right. McBrien, play action to O'Gorman, looking downfield, has a man. And that is Myshak coming out of the backfield, making that play.
Yeah, that was a great job by Christian Minucci. He shielded off a defensive back. It was a offensive pass interference. It was very difficult for an official to see. But he saw that the ball was going to go out to Myshak. And if you watch him here, you can't see it, but he slowed down, kept the defender off of him.
And here we are on 1st down. Play over the middle. Myshak stuffed after a gain.
That's Andrew Patzer. Oh my goodness. That was big boy on big boy. They're playing big boy football down there.
Yeah, you want to bust him in the mouth early. And Andrew Patzer, he's doing a great job kicking it. He's probably laid out the 2 biggest licks so far for this Sun defense. 2nd down and 7, ball on to 53. Flag on the play. Someone probably jumped here. And I believe that is incomplete for a foul.
Well, the Sun that time, for the first time this game, brought a little bit of pressure. And it looks like the Huskies jumped. So they're not a team that likes to bring pressure, but again, when you're looking to make a play, you're going to bring a little bit more pressure. They brought 5-man that time, played zone behind it, which leaves some holes, and that's why that was open out there.
That's declined. It's a 3rd down.
Not a bad call by the Sun, 3rd and 7. You've got him in a kicking situation anyway. No point in taking that 5 yards when you can force him to kick.
Something else that could help this Sun team out is if James Green could pop one. You know, he's been an outstanding returner all year for them, the leading returner in the BC Football Conference. And if he could get a big return and change field position, they need something to help their offense out, to give their offense a shot.
And the Huskies have been doing a great job of taking that away. Low kicks, kicks away, kicks rolling out of the end zone, and Green has been unable to get it going. End over end kick, and this time Green is going to field it cleanly right in the middle of the field. Let's see what he's got. Up the middle, met quickly by Salim Borhat. Let's go down to the field now with Christina St. Marche. We go to that report in just a couple of minutes. So now the Okanagan Sun are taking over. Billy McConkey back in a quarterback. You start thinking about maybe making a quarterback change in the 2nd half, Jim?
If things continue as they will, I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
There's McConkey. Back under center. Snap.
There they go.
Bit of play action, and that worked.
Well, that was a straight dive, and big fullback just bouncing off of people.
Dave Simpson hasn't seen the ball a lot this afternoon, but making something happen here.
Again, Billy McConkey was a starting quarterback at the beginning of the season. Heath Williamson replaced him, so Heath has experience. If you just can't get it going, sometimes that's what you have to do.
First and 10, ball now on the 41-yard line for McConkey.
Here we got their spread on first down. I like this.
Single setback. No. Oh, man.
James Green, again, was way offside on that one.
So someone messed up there, whether that was on the cadence. Green had the snap count wrong. And the Sun again having trouble getting things going.
You know, they get a good play, and then they either fumble a snap, they have a penalty. They just can't get in a rhythm, and that's part of that. That's been their major problem. I mean, they've moved the ball at times, but they just can't get into a rhythm and stay away from their, things that are hurting themselves.
Number 3, Okanagan. That's decline. Second down.
Second down now, the ball on the 43-yard line. And again, when you've done such a great job of stopping him on defense, no harm done, and taking the down, giving him a couple of yards on that first down play. McConkey back to pass, looking over the middle, and he is swarmed, stacked up, and sacked.
That was Greg Whalen and Justin Cooper. Justin Cooper, I think, will get credit for the sack, but the two of those, 54 and 56, on a little twist, and Cooper comes through clean. Again, he was an edge rusher, so he's got great speed in there. He's only 250 pounds, but really built well, runs well, and that was just a nice little twist move, and Justin got the sack.
And those were those defensive linemen getting in, making a play, and to the side for Patzer. Not a great kick. He got away this time. Fielded short, coming up the midfield on the return, and down at the 52-yard line. I believe that was Nathan Thomas.
Okay, and we're joined now by Calgary Colts president Keith Evans, and Keith also was a former recipient of the Ed Hennick Award. Keith, nice to see you.
Very nice to be here.
What can you tell us about the level of play on the field today?
Well, I think overall it's very good. Huskies seem to have a bit of an edge in the early going, but Cone has a lot of talent, and I expect that they'll make some adjustments at halftime.
I think so too. Thank you. Back to you, boys.
Thank you, Christina St. Marche. Second down and 7 now. The ball is on the 48-yard line. And at this point, Jim, I think the Huskies just want to concentrate on ball control and starting to use up this clock.
Look out.
And a short play over the middle turns out to be a big-time gain, and that was to Adam Cottrell, the slot back. Again, just that little short throw with Cottrell coming over the middle, and the coverage just disappeared.
A nice bit of running. He wound his way through the zone and was able to make the linebacker right there miss, and then the defensive back miss, Jordan Weavers. And here we go with no huddle again.
First and 10 on the 20, no huddle offense. There's that misdirection. Now O'Gorman breaking off to the left, positive yards.
There's the buck sweep, Dave. That's known as the buck sweep.
The Jim Barker Historical School of Football here. Another 5-yard gain.
It's fun to watch. It's to watch teams trying. I mean, execute these types of plays. This Edmonton is going to work hard here to get a score and try to deflate the Sun.
Kelly McBrien just doing a masterful job controlling the offense, looking left. That time, Cottrell just couldn't get turned around and get that ball cut.
And just as he threw, he had Matt Lammerding all over him, and I think Matt had a lot to do with that poor throw.
Matt Lammerding on the quarterback and Namdi Metu on the coverage, so those are two of the Okanagan Suns' big weapons on defense. And two of the guys we need to see a little bit more from. Third down and 6. Lining up for about a 22-yard field goal here is Steve Wozmerski. He splits the uprights perfectly, and that makes it 21-0 now for the Edmonton Huskies. Once again, Jim, the Okanagan Sun are going to get the ball back. Still 4:11 to go in this half. They've got lots of time. They just have to find some way to get something positive going.
Yeah, and Billy McConkey's got to get this offense going, or they do need to look at making a quarterback switch, and because you can't switch the whole team. It's kind of like a head coach. You know, you can't fire the whole team, so you change it, make a change at quarterback. They have to do something to get their offense going. Again, they had 2 first downs in the first quarter. They've gotten a couple here, but as soon as they get a first down, they fumble a snap, they get a penalty. If the Sun can come down here and get a score, make it 21-7 going in at halftime, what a huge boost for that club. On the other hand, if the Huskies can hold them here, come in, and I don't think they're going to start worry about running the clock right now. I think they want to get points in this first half and try to deflate the Okanagan Sun. Because you know when they go in at halftime, Jay Christensen will have a few words for them. This team will come out fired up.
What kind of adjustments, you're looking at this as a coach, on defense? What do the Sun have to do differently on defense to make this happen?
Well, they've done a real nice job of stopping their run. They've gotten hurt on the pass, and then they've missed a lot of tackles in the open field. I think when they throw the ball short, they have to be able to come up and make tackles. I think a little more pressure. Here's that short kick again, Dave.
Yeah, just that
right into the hole, and now they're going to get.
Ooh,
they almost got the ball.
Down there on the coverage, that was number 6, Matt Lambros, who was able to pick it up. Steve Wozmerski just with a little lazy boot. And again, you don't want a team to establish momentum, and James Green is the guy that can do that with one play, so you just take the ball right out of his hands.
Yeah, there's no question that they're making sure they're not going to get beat by James Green. They're going to make McConkey and the receiving corps beat them, and they haven't been able to do it at this point.
Billy McConkey lining up again, trying to start 1st and 10 from his own 27-yard line. Hands off to Green. Green trying to break it to the outside. We've got a flag and more great defensive coverage by the Edmonton Huskies, and that time it was Bowden Honestchuk, the linebacker, coming up to make the play.
And Honestchuk he's a guy who runs in the 4.7 range. He's very fast. He's a CFL-type linebacker, more of a cover type of guy. He's got great speed. And again, when you run these lateral plays against a speed defense, your chances aren't real good. Against a speed defense, ideally, you want to do what they were trying to do, running it more inside.
And again, that gives you the option, a holding penalty called on the play. The Huskies able to decline that because it's 2nd and 14 now from the 23-yard line.
Yeah, left tackle Josh Como went to the Sun as a defensive lineman. He was a defensive lineman last year with the Calgary Colts. Went there, he got converted over to offensive tackle, and I believe that was him on the hold.
So McConkey now passing down, rolling out to the right-hand side, throwing. That took that ball a long time to get over to Matt Lambros.
And Matt Lambros is another young man who started the season with the Calgary Colts, had a little falling out there. They gave him his release, and he's gone to the Sun. He's averaged 28 yards per reception, so he's been a big acquisition for them. He came the week after the Jeff Halverson incident. So Lambros is a guy that they haven't been able to get involved yet. They tried there, but it was incomplete. Now they're punting from their 23. Edmonton's going to get great field position. Now the Okanagan Sun defense has got to suck it up and make a stop here.
And he had Lambros, just unfortunately overthrew him a little bit, and the play ended up out of bounds. Gatzer now fumbling the snap. That's happened to him a couple of times. He still manages to get the kick away. Fielded at the 45-yard line, number 20, J.R. LaRose for the Huskies in a bit of an unaccustomed role there.
Yeah, again, when you have a linebacker that's your punter, I guess it's good that you can get a big hit out of him, but he's usually a linebacker because he doesn't catch well enough to play on offense, Dave.
Now 2:53 to go in the first half as the Huskies take over again with more great field position and a chance to really just put the screws to the Okanagan Sun before we go to the half.
Again, Dave, this is such a huge possession for the Okanagan Sun. They don't want to go into the locker room down 28-0. Their offense again sputtered when they were backed up. Now this is a critical time for them to come out, make a stop, and keep them in the ball game.
2:53 to go in the first half. Edmonton 21, Okanagan no score. You're watching the 2004 Canadian Bowl, brought to you by Signature Entertainment.
The Jim Barker School of Football is about building champions, and we have the championship rings to prove it. The world of professional football is a competitive arena. We will show you how to become more agile, stronger, and quicker. We know football and prepare you for the upcoming spring CFL Combine. Jim Barker knows what pro scouts are looking for in young Canadian players. When it comes to the game of football, it's a matter of who's more prepared. Do not trust your football future to anyone but the best. If you want to be a professional, you need to train with the professional. Jim Barker, School of Football.
Back now at Commonwealth Stadium, 2004 Canadian Bowl, the hometown Edmonton Huskies up against the Okanagan Sun, and the Huskies getting it done on both sides of the ball. The Sun just can't get anything sorted at all, and as a result, it is 21-0 Edmonton Huskies. Dave Rowe up in the booth, along with the coach, Jim Barker, as the Huskies, Jim, going back on offense once again with a chance really to put the boot down on the throat.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they go no huddle here, Dave, with what we have 2:53 to go. We're in the last 3 minutes, or if they allow the clock to work.
Officials blowing the play in. McBrien with his backs in the eye now. O'Gorman going off to the right. Toss to O'Gorman. Up the middle, and he's got a gap. And he is going to get another Edmonton Husky first down before he was brought down. Garrett Zazula.
Well, that answered that. They used they snapped it on 3 seconds, so they're not worried about the clock or using any time on the clock, and they're gonna make their run here. Actually, they're huddling this time, so maybe they are gonna use a little bit of time. But 2:30 left, a lot of time.
1st and 10, the ball just touching the Okanagan 30-yard line. And again, it's O'Gorman off to the back, off to the right side. There's a toss now. Dave Simpson getting a little bit of action.
And that was Duncan McLean making the play on the toss sweep. Andrew Patzer stepped up to the line of scrimmage. They were going to, again, bring some pressure. And I think Okanagan's trying to mix up the looks they're giving them, put a little bit more pressure on McBrien.
Check that. That's number 32, Thomas Dathan, for the Edmonton Huskies. Getting a little playing time. Myshak out for now. Again, a chance with a big lead just to give some of your players, some of your other players a bit of a taste. O'Gorman now, the sole setback. Bit of play action there, and the toss, and a great bit of defense by Zazula for the Okanagan Sun.
And that was great pressure by Austin McLennan. We've talked a lot about Matt Lammerding. Over on the other side, Austin McLennan actually leads our team with 6 sacks this year, and he put a lot of pressure that time on McBrien. They're going to force us to the field goal from Wozmerski.
Let's see now. It looks like it is going to be about a 38 or a 39-yarder when they line this one up. 2:14 to go now as Edmonton trying to go up 24-0. Wozmerski so far doing a great job in the field goal department.
And this again will be one of those heart in your stomach types of field goals.
Nathan Aldred, the backup quarterback, in for the hold.
Uh-oh.
And it is off to the side, and now Green is going to get a chance to do some damage. And at this stage of the game, he's going to have to try to take it out of the end zone. It does. Got past that first wave of tacklers, but great contained by the Huskies as they get him deep inside the 5-yard line. 1st and 10 from the 4 with 2 minutes to go.
You know, I'm not sure James Green should have brought that one out. It bounced. It was a little bit deep, and now they're starting on the 4-yard line. Edmonton will use their timeouts, I'm sure, and if Okanagan, actually they moved the ball to the 20 in junior football, so if bringing it out was the wise thing to do. Some of the rules are a little different than the CFL. In the CFL, that ball will be on the 5. Junior football, anything that gets out, they bring out to the 20. So good move by James Green.
So here we go. McConkey once again trying to get something going before the half. quick drop over the middle. And again,
That's
not
James
a great
Moran.
pass. Incomplete to James Moran. Moran trying to make a sliding catch there.
You know, in the CFL, the officials have been taking a lot of heat. I'll tell you what, this has been a very well officiated game. The calls that have been penalties that have been obvious. They've been called. The game has flowed well. Very well officiated game. Daryl Sawchuk and his crew are doing an outstanding job.
Officials like offensive linemen, you don't want to have to talk about them. That means they're doing a good job. 1:56 now on the clock. 2nd and 10 for the Sun from their own 20-yard line. McConkey back to pass, rolling left this time. Throwing deep, he's got a man. Duncan Akers was open, the ball wobbling, underthrown. Akers going for a slide, and it's 3rd down.
Running to your left for a quarterback again, that's a very difficult throw to throw the ball deep going to your left. And in that series, they took 10 seconds off the clock. Again, Edmonton's going to get the ball at midfield or closer, and this is the problem that you have if you're going to, come out throwing the ball in the last 2 minutes when you're backed up.
Billy McConkey's had some receivers getting open, just hasn't had any success getting the ball to him. Once again, it's Andrew Patzer back to punt, kicking from his own 5-yard line. Good snap this time. Gets away a low kick. And once again, on the return, it is Jason Moran. Moran still going down around the 40-yard line. A big stiff arm, but a big tackle by Jordan Weavers.
Very good special teams open field tackle, because he was the last guy, or Moran would have taken it to the house. So Jordan Weavers with an outstanding special teams tackle. And again, I've been so impressed with these special teams, both sides. The returns, the coverage, just been very well coached in special teams.
Fought off that stiff arm to the face and still made the tackle. 1st and 10 now, Edmonton Huskies, ball just outside the 40-yard line. Kelly McBrien, he just looks confident as he goes up to the line, Jim.
Yeah, he's a 5th-year player, and he just knows what he's doing. Here's the play action. A little miscommunication. I think that on that play, he wanted Cottrell to continue inside, and Cottrell stopped.
Christian Minucci also downfield on that one.
A lot of time on those kind of plays, Dave, if it's zone, the receiver sits. If it's man, he continues to run. But the quarterback and the receiver have to be on the same page and see the same thing. It looked to me at that time that McBrien thought they were in man. He was going to continue, and Cottrell read it as zone.
1:36 to go now in the first half. As McBrien under center, 2nd and 10, just outside the 40. There's the handoff to O'Gorman. Trying to get to the outside. He doesn't get there. Matt Lamberting once again on the tackle.
Just a great play, and it was a nice call. They were blitzing on that play. They run a little draw play. A very good stand by the Okanagan Sun. I'll tell you what, their defense twice have been had the Huskies down inside the 50, have been able to not allow them any points. Now they're going to get out of this half, it looks like, with behind only 21-0, and that's if they can't get anything going here. And it'll be interesting to see when we come back out whether Jay Christensen makes a move at quarterback and goes to Heath Williamson.
Heath Williamson down on the sidelines, playing a little bit of catch right now with Caleb Henry. Caleb Henry activated as a reserve slot back just because they weren't sure just how well Duncan Akers would be. Of course, he's playing with the quad injury. Now Green at the 5-yard line, trying to get outside. Forced back upside the middle, just great contained. Green had nowhere to go on that.
Just spectacular coverage again by the Huskies, and I hate to keep harping on it, but you see so much in junior football and high school football where special teams aren't emphasized. To see that it's emphasized in the 2 top teams in the country right now is something that hopefully coaches throughout Canada are looking at, as this is such a key part of the game. You have to work on it, and these teams obviously have.
That was Corey LaCusta, one of many Huskies swarming down on that coverage. Billy McConkey back again to lead the offense. 1:19. Snap, and McConkey again rolling out to his left, and it's intercepted. Interception by Tim Hordo.
Tim Hordo out of Winnipeg had 3 picks this year, just sat in the zone, dared McConkey to throw it over his head. They had Lambros open down the sideline, underthrew it a little bit. Hordo with a nice play.
And again, you're talking about that young quarterback rolling to his left and throwing across his body. and just not the arm strength to get it over the defensive back. And here we go again. Okanagan had a chance to get out of this quarter. A little bit of a moral victory with the missed field goal the last drive. Now they're heading it right back to Edmonton. 1st and 10 inside the 35-yard line. And off to O'Gorman. Driving, and he's stacked up for a gain of maybe 2 yards.
Again, the Sun defense is going to be called upon to keep this thing close, and you can only do this so often, and we have a penalty down. Looks like it's going to be against the Huskies. They'll move him back on this one because this will take him out of field goal range. Looks like a late hit.
Giving the option to the Okanagan Sun. It looks like, yeah, as you expect, Dustin Pats are saying, yeah, we'll take it. We'll push him back.
We have unnecessary roughness, number 61, Edmonton, 2nd down.
And that's a killer penalty because you not only lose the 15 yards, but you lose it down because it happens after the play. And those kind of penalties can just kill you because that takes them out of field goal range. Now they've put themselves in this long yardage situation.
Tackle Chris Hess caught on that one.
Time
so
out.
2nd and 25 from the 42.
Maybe it's time for the onside kick here.
Oh, I don't know. Okay, we're going back into the Vince Lombardi playbook, and now we're going back into the Dib Dark pass to the Canadian Football League. Okay, so we're going back to last Friday in the Canadian Football League. Now, what a crazy play that was, Jim. What was your take on that? Were the officials just not ready for that play?
Oh, there's no question they weren't ready or they would have seen it. And what gave it away was when Mike Hugh Haas caught the ball and looked down the line to check to make sure that Celicio Sanford was onside. That should have been an alert to the officials, whoever had the ball. Somebody's always assigned the ball. Whoever saw Haas look over there should have looked over and made sure that Celicio Sanford was onside and then gone to Jake Ireland right after. Now, I don't know whether Jake would have hurt him anyway because he seemed to be a little out of control, but those are plays that officials have to anticipate, know are coming.
And the CFL issuing the apology to the Calgary Stampeders, admitting a mistake was made. But, yeah, 72 hours after the fact, unlikely that you're going to see a game result overturned.
But forever, that loss goes on Matt Dunnigan's record. And as a head coach, you can't, there's no asterisk. There's no asterisk that says, well, yeah, but they really
won. Yeah, but I really won that one. 2nd and 25 now, ball on the 47. Kelly McBrien back to pass, looking over the middle, has a man downfield, and that one was batted away. That was some very, very tight coverage, and almost bringing it in was the tight end, Christian Minucci, and a flag down, and I don't think there's too much doubt about what this is.
Yeah, they're going to call pass interference on Jordan Weavers coming over the top of him, and, you know, he might have touched him, but I like to see defensive backs be given an opportunity to play defense. And that's a killer penalty because they were 2nd and long. Now they're going to have a 1st down inside the 30, a minute left, and another good scoring opportunity for the Huskies.
We have forward pass
safety, Salim Borhat.
Okanagan, number 26. That will be a 1st down.
That was safety Salim Borhat, was the injured member of the Okanagan Sun who was helped off the field. That'll bring in Michael Pearson.
But again, Minucci is a 6'3", 260-pounder. For a little defensive back who doesn't see that all year, that's tough to cover downfield.
So that is going to make it 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. 1:02 to go in the half, and there is the handoff.
That's me, Shaq, on the weak side blunt there, Dave.
Weak side blunt, actually.
I love that play.
Nathan Thomas getting the ball on that one. Not sure. Well, Jim, it's been a couple of series since I've seen my Shaq out there. I don't know if he's injured or if they just want to get Thomas. Yeah, if they just want to get him into the ball game.
Oh, okay.
But Thomas has been getting his fair share of the ball over the last couple of series.
Yeah, he's been in.
And once again, he remains in the backfield along with Tyler O'Gorman. Now they split 2nd down and 7. And just that little swing pass out to O'Gorman.
I'll tell you,
this time it doesn't work.
That's a risky call. They had Andrew Patzer out covering O'Gorman on that little swing route, And I'm telling you, he throws that a little bit behind, and it's going 7 the other way. And the one thing you don't want on offense right now is to give the Sun any life. And you'll see right here where number 40 was right there, and McBrien made the throw, and he's a fifth-year player who's going to make the right decision, made sure that his guy got it or nobody. But that's another one that as a coach, your heart goes down into your stomach.
3rd down and 7, ball on the 28-yard line. So the attempt is going to come from about 36 yards out. Aldred, and someone got a hand up on that.
That was Maytu. Oh, get out of the end zone.
And Green does get out, but again, don't worry about the safety. The flag was down. That was a 5-yard no yards on the bounce back.
That was Namdi Maytu on the block. He came through almost unblocked.
Well, so we were a little bit critical of the Okanagan Sun defense earlier on, Jim, when they were giving up those big penalties and big chunks of yardage. But in the second quarter here, in the later stages, they've really done a great job of standing up. And again, special teams, a missed field goal, now a blocked field goal, and the Sun have an opportunity to get out of this cheap.
43 Edmonton, 1st down.
Yeah, the Sun pride themselves on defense, and their defense is keeping them in this ball game. If they can get their offensive problem solved at halftime, they can come out and make a ball game of it. Now Heath Williamson is in, like we had talked about.
That was Lee Hersoon that was downfield. You got to love it when your center is the guy that can get downfield fast enough to take a no-yards penalty.
Yeah.
And we do have that quarterback change. Heath Williamson is in. And a handoff to Green up the middle, and Green breaking tackles to the outside, and he's got the 1st down.
At 12 seconds left, they're trying to give Heath Williamson just a little taste, so when he comes out in the second half, he's going to be a little bit more relaxed and just coming out and starting the half. So
timeout, Okanagan.
And I think that's probably a good call when you're bringing in a fresh quarterback. Just a real simple play, handoff into the line, let the running back do the work.
Yeah, it was a draw play. They spread the field out again, spread that Edmonton defense. Again, they have great speed. They don't substitute based on personnel, so they were able to get the defense spread, find some creases. Again, these guys on the defensive line of Edmonton, they put their ears back and they go upfield. If you could run that delay kind of draw play, there are creases that will be open, and Green found one there. That was, I believe, his longest run of the day.
12 seconds left. You're on the 27-yard line. I'm just going to throw this out there because I wouldn't do it either. But do you try something? Do you throw the bomb? Do you try to make something happen?
I think what you want to do is you want to get Heath Williamson in any kind of rhythm you can do in 12 seconds. What you don't want is to throw the stupid pass that's going to give them an opportunity to score, because that will deflate your club. Right now, your defense is coming off of basically 3 possessions of stopping them. Your team is going to be at least somewhat fired up about that. You don't want your offense right now to make that brutal interception play, trying to make a big play.
1st and 10 now, 12 seconds to go. Williamson up under center. Split backs, 3 receivers to the left. He's looking left, and there's a flag down. I think someone jumped on the Okanagan side. And another sack with a horde.
That was offsides against the Sun. There are 2 receivers. Again, when you change quarterbacks, they're not used to the cadence. That was Brad Chamberlain that time. Again, the defensive front for Edmonton is just basically manhandling the offensive front of the Sun.
Mike McLean told us that he didn't want to do a whole lot of blitzing unless the linebacker in him took over, but he hasn't had to because that front 4 has just been getting all the penetration.
Number 17, Okanagan. That's declined. 2nd down.
And now the clock will start.
Duncan Akers, 17 on the offside.
So this should be the last play of the half.
And a chance now just to take a knee and get out of this thing. And as strange as this sounds, Jim, I think Okanagan can count themselves lucky at this point that they're only down 21-0.
I agree with you.
Well, so much for taking a knee. There is the handoff to the inside. Looked like number 32, Dave Simpson, for a gain of a handful of yards. And that is going to do it for the first half of the 2004 Canadian Bowl here at Commonwealth Stadium. Dave Rowe along with Jim Barker up in the booth with you here. 21-0 for the Edmonton Huskies. And now we're going to go to the documentary Run to Win, The Life and Times of Vince Lombardi. You're watching the 2004 Canadian Bowl, brought to you by Signature Entertainment.
Jim, what's with the sad eyes? We've been through this. And we agreed as partners we'd be ready to make some tough choices. Right now, it's too expensive for both of us to go. Listen, I'll call you the second I'm done. Okay?
Next time, get on board with Jetsco super low fares.
Jetsco, pay a little, fly a lot.
In Green Bay, Wisconsin, a team was founded with $500 put up by a meatpacking company. They became known as the Packers. There were no stadiums, no tickets. The earnings were meager, but the club survived. In 1921, the team became one of the charter members of the National Football League. In 1959, Vince Lombardi came to coach the Packers. He taught a Spartan game that required sacrifice, dedication, and self-denial. For many, it was too tough. They left and never came back. But the proud and the strong remain to become the nucleus of a team which has dominated pro football ever since.
The men who wanted to stay, they're still here. And let me tell you this, Green Bay is a great town for football.
And football is a way of life in Green Bay.
You can be Star. You can be Creamer. I want to be Creamer. I want to be Star. I want
Been much written and said about my father. Till the time he came home late one night, cold Wisconsin night. Slipped into bed, he leaned over to kiss my mother goodnight. And she is said to have exclaimed, "My God, your feet are cold." To which he is said to have replied, "You may call me Vince." Closer to the truth than I care to admit. Also tell the time of a sports writer interviewing some of his players and asking him, well, what is it about Coach Lombardi that makes you so successful? Well, what I'm thought from him is, well, you know, he treats us all alike. He treats us all the same. Like dogs. Well, before my father went to Green Bay, the Green Bay Packers had a record of 1 win, 10 losses, and a tie. I'd like to say they'd overwhelmed 1, underwhelmed 10, and whelmed 1. But a question could be asked, how do you take a team like that that doubts itself, that's tentative? And how do you transform them into champions?
Every football team eventually arrives at a lead play, a number 1 play, a bread and butter play. It is the play that the team knows it must make go, and the one that its opponents know they must stop. Continued success with it, of course, makes a number 1 play, because from that success stems your own team's confidence. And behind that is the basic truth that it expresses the coach as a coach and the players as a team. And they feel complete satisfaction when they execute its power sweep. There's nothing spectacular about it. It's just a yard gainer.
Commitment. Now, there's a word we hear a lot, huh? My father once said the quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment. What's this commitment stuff that can define the quality of our life? Well, it seems to me when we make a commitment, what we're really doing is we're making a firm, strong decision to do something. So it seems to me the essence of commitment is the act of making a decision. Now, the Latin root for decision is to cut away from, as in an incision. So it seems to me when we commit to something, what we're really doing is we're cutting away all the other options, all other possibilities. When we commit to something, what we're really doing, we're cutting away all the excuses, all the rationalizations. Sun Tzu, an ancient Chinese general, centuries ago wrote a book called The Art of War. You might be familiar with it. It's kind of popular today. And in that book, one of the concepts that Sun Tzu laid down, he said, when you have your enemy army cornered, he said, leave them a way out. He says, because if you corner your enemy army and you don't leave them a way out, they'll fight to the death. And you'll get more than you bargained for.
The unsung soldiers of the successful pass play are the pass blockers. Football is a game of aggression and forward movement. But the pass blocker is called upon to perform a maneuver that contains a contradiction. The pass blocker must be aggressive, and yet he must retreat. Hit and retreat. Hit and retreat. Hit and retreat. And it is not easy. But the rewards are great when the pass blocking is properly executed.
It's my father's Super Bowl ring, Super Bowl II. It's a bit much. It's, what it is gaudy. That's what it is. It's gaudy. 3 diamonds across the face are emblematic of the 3 world championships in a row that they won. And it's got scores and dates and opponents' names all over it. And one side of the ring is the word challenge. That's the theme they took throughout that season, the challenge of trying to win 3 in a row. And the other side of the ring is the words run to win. And the significance of that is a biblical quote that my father gave his players a week before Super Bowl II. They're getting ready to play the then and once again Oakland Raiders. He quoted St. Paul as saying, "Do you know that all who run in a race, all indeed run, but only one receives the prize. So run to win." For St. Paul, life was a contest, a combat, requiring the virtues of an athlete. He spoke these words to the people of the first century, people often unsure of themselves and sometimes discouraged. A time of extremes. The haves, the have-nots, affluence, destitution, freedom, and slavery. Time of easy living for some. Time of apathy and indifference for others. Sounds kind of familiar, huh? Not a whole lot's changed in 2,000 years. What I believe St. Paul might have been saying, what perhaps my father might have been repeating, is that the thing that differentiates between or among us is not a lack of strength, Not a lack of education, but a lack of will. For its character, not power, not knowledge. That is really our greatest prize. For its character, with its attributes of courage and discipline and loyalty and sacrifice. Not only is this a difference between or among us, this is the difference between the great ones and the small ones. And by great, I don't mean you've done something big and you have your name in it. Greatness is not ability. Rather, greatness is the willingness and the commitment and the discipline to use to the fullest the talent and the ability that you possess.
What are you looking at me like that for? We agreed to make a travel budget and to stick to it, remember? And right now, there's just no way we can both go. It's not me, it's the math. Besides, it's only a week.
Next time, get on board with Jetsco super low fares.
Jetsco, pay a little, fly a lot.
Dave Rowe and Jim Barker, halftime at the 2004 Canadian Bowl at Commonwealth Stadium, and Jim, Vince Lombardi, master motivator through the ages, but the motivation today for the Okanagan Sun, and, well, I think for the Edmonton Huskies as well, the memory of Jeff Halverson.
Yeah, and it's what Jeff Halverson stood for. The young man was on his way to a record-breaking year. He had 17 touchdowns the first 6 games, just unheard of. Had rushed for 900 yards, but it was his work ethic. He has a wife and a lovely child, and another one on the way. His wife is due in December. Last night he was awarded the most outstanding player in the CJFL, a very deserving award. And what was interesting was the standing ovation was started by the Husky players. That's the kind of respect they had for this young man, and he is what junior football is all about.
Alberta ties to Jeff Halverson, and a lot of memories for the Okanagan Sun. You will always be in our hearts. And that slide that we just had up is a poster which is down at the field to inspire the Okanagan Sun. They've got Jeff Halverson's jersey with them. A lot of the players with 34 on wristbands, on towels.
And again,
now,
Jay Christensen has talked about it's not winning it for Jeff Halverson. It's playing as Jeff Halverson would play, which is leaving your heart on the field. And he's buried right across the street from the practice field. So every time they go to practice, Jeff is with them. And Jeff is in the heart of every one of those players. And while their whole emphasis was to be perfect, it's to be like Jeff, not to necessarily win it for Jeff.
So now we're going to the second half of the Okanagan Sun. We'll have to play like Jeff Halverson. They'll have to play like heroes. They're down 21-0. Jim, as we were saying just before the break, I think lucky to be only down 21-0 with the way that some of those turnovers late in the first half.
And when you look at the statistics, Edmonton had 40 plays to only 22 for the Sun. 273 yards to 65 yards for the Sun. So they are very lucky, very fortunate to have it be 21-0. I'm sure they'll go to Heath Williamson and see if he can give them a spark. I think probably the key to the whole game is all year James Green has averaged 7.8 yards a carry. First half, 3.1 yards against his Edmonton Husky defense.
And that tells you what a great job the Husky defense is doing of shutting down the main weapon in the Sun arsenal. An ineffective Billy McConkey throughout the first half. Almost looked like he was trying to force things, make things happen. Maybe not some of the best decision-making out there, and just missing receivers.
Well, Billy McConkey will become a better quarterback for his experience here today.
Yes.
You don't get an opportunity to play in these kind of games against these kind of defenses very often. He will grow from this. Again, he's only a second-year player. He's out of St. Mary's High School. His dad is a coach at St. Mary's High School in Calgary. And Billy will grow and become better from the because of this game that he's played.
And as we talked about earlier, this is the kind of competition that the Okanagan Sun haven't seen. They ran the table through the BC Junior Conference, and then all of a sudden you come in against a monster team like this who knocked off the two-time defending Canadian Bowl champions.
Well, I think it speaks volumes to the Prairie Football Conference. This team lost 3 games. They lost to the Winnipeg Rifles, they lost to the Edmonton Wildcats, and they lost to the Hilltops. The Hilltops went through this conference undefeated, and then in a surprise, I think, to everybody, last week, Edmonton handed it to Saskatoon. It wasn't a close ball game. It was a ball game Edmonton won handily.
Sun are going to get the chance to make something happen early. Steve Wozmerski all set to kick off to start this second half. And again, no opportunity for Green to make anything happen on offense. That was that short kick, and that was the number 32, Dave Simpson, the running back.
Again, they're trying to limit Green on the returns. Green is the leading returner in CJFL football as a kick returner, so they're trying to limit that. And again, they're not worried about giving the ball to them on the 45-yard line. They had 65 yards the whole first half. So it'll be interesting to see what Heath Williamson's able to do with this club right now. 49, Duncan McLean, the middle linebacker for the Sun, late coming back in the room. We'll see if there's any report on a possible injury there. But for now, it is Heath Williamson under center. And a quick handoff up the middle and positive yards, close to the first down marker. They ran right up the middle, right at Jason Bobst, and who's done a nice job of plugging things up, and Justin Cooper, and got themselves about 8-9 yards. So that's a good start for the Sun.
Looked like Dave Simpson on the ball there up the gut. Is that the kind of, you agree with that play calling your route? You've got to make something happen, but before you can do that, you have to establish this new quarterback in a rhythm?
I agree with any play that gets 8 yards on first
There
down.
you go. The master himself speaks. Second down and short. Williamson back to pass over the middle. Intercepted. Andrew Askin, and that was just overthrown, and just a gift wrap Christmas present for
They
Andrew
ran a
Askin.
play action, tried to make something happen in 2nd and 2 and get them back in the game, and you can't fault Coach Christensen for that. The route was a little high-low combination. It looked like the low guy was a little too high, which forced the throw a little bit higher than he wanted it to be, and just a very good interception there.
So the Huskies once again back on offense. 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line. Kelly McBrien remains in at quarterback. There you go, just that basic, simple run up the middle for not a whole heck of a lot. And I believe
That's
once
Jordan
again,
Fast. Again, they've done a nice job, the Edmonton offensive line on Jordan Fast. That time, he didn't get it. The hero, they call him the hero. Hero Nakano inside, plugging things up in there. And here comes Hero coming off.
Substituting in, number 25, that's Jeff Swan.
Jeff Swan happens to be Jeff Halverson's very best friend, was in his wedding party, and I know Jeff is wanted to get in the ball game, and now he'll be in for Hero.
Giving up a little bit of size up the middle now to the Edmonton Huskies. Back to pass over the middle. Caught. And right away, Jordan Weavers is there with the coverage on that play. James Watson getting the ball there.
Again, nice finding the soft spot in the zone defense. Weavers was a little tighter that time than he was the last time, but that is where the hole is.
Those little passes underneath have been open for Edmonton all day long, Jim. McBrien once again. Second man getting the ball to the outside, breaking tackles. Misho Kalu still going down to the 30-yard line before he is finally forced out of bounds by Andrew Patzer. Misho Kalu, he's been pretty quiet so far, but a big gain there.
Well, he hasn't played much the first half, and that is a very impressive run. Breaking tackles, changing direction, spinning, a little bit of a straight arm, and showed some nice speed. Uses his blocker real well there. And that was the buck sweep.
Another one out of the Lombardi playbook. And there is McBrien, little three-step drop, and again, just that little pass underneath. Looked like Mishu Kalu again and again. Andrew Patzer on the tackle. And in the first half, Kelly McBrien, 9 of 19 for 165 yards.
Interestingly enough, Dave, the Huskies have not won when McBrien throws for under 54%. So he's under 54% up until now. Now he completes his first three. He'll be up over that.
Those high percentage passes really helping to get that done. Watching some more of that misdirection out of the backfield, but instead, simple. Back on the ground to Misho Kalu.
I love calling plays when it's 2nd and 2.5 or 2nd and 3. It's a great situation to be in.
That just opens up the entire playbook. So once again, since I'd say the middle part of the second quarter, Jim, I haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of Josh Myshak out there. Again, don't know if he's hurt or don't know if they just want to get some of these other players in the game. McBrien now rolling right. A little bit of pursuit by the Sun. McBrien coming back. He gets swarmed, stacked up, and on the tackle.
That was the hero. That was the hero. Very nice job by Austin McLennan that time to chase him, forced him out of the pocket. He wanted to set up there. Austin McLennan forced him out, and then Hero came in and finished him off.
McLennan leading BC in sacks this year, even though the Hero is going to get credit for that one.
And you know number 42 was right there, Matt Lammerding.
Of course, he's been there all day. Kelly McBrien, second down and 18 on the Okanagan 28-yard line. Has a little more time this time, gets the ball away over the middle, complete to number 77, Christian Minucci.
That's the big tight end, and they're going to be way short of a first down and have to try a long field goal here.
Ball spotted on the 23, so about a 30-yard attempt.
They're trying to get the ball up the seam that time, and as McBrien went to throw the ball, linebacker jumped underneath it, to throw it, and now they forced the field goal.
At some point, do you expect to see Edmonton really go vertical, go downfield, or are they at the point now where they don't have to?
No, they're just running plays now. It's just they feel like their whole playbook's open to them. Wazabowski, very smooth field goal. So they made a nice adjustment at halftime, got that short up, because remember they got their last field goal blocked. Had that short up, he had no pressure that time. And Wazabowski's an outstanding kicker.
Hi, and we're back here. Welcome back, and we're with Curtis Craig, who is past president of the Eskimo Huskies. Curtis, Edmonton Huskies. Yes, I'm sorry. Boy, this is quite an event today. This has turned out to be a good crowd, a good game. What does it take to put on an event like this?
Well, 3 organizations in particular just gave tremendous support. My football club, the Huskies, the Edmonton Wildcats, and a special thanks to the Edmonton Eskimos. They gave us 3 key personnel that have made this all possible. We see about 5,000 to 6,000 people in the stands. Great stadium. They helped us get that as well. And I have to give kudos to Signature Entertainment as well, because the broadcast is the most exciting news that we had to offer the people of the city of Edmonton. I'm certain there's thousands watching it at home as well.
Thank you so much. I think it's been a great event. And back to the broadcast booth.
Christina St. Marche on the sidelines now. Another one of those low kicks, and wow! And that almost went very bad, very fast. Poor old Matt Lambros trying to handle that kick, as again they do the job of keeping it away from James Green. They've been punting to him, but he's getting nowhere near the ball. on the kickoffs.
Well, that was a perfect kickoff. He kicked it right between the up back and the middle back. When the ball bounces there, now it's a funny shaped ball and will take a lot of funny bounces. And Edmonton almost was able to recover that one. Now they have the ball on the 27-yard line with no return possibilities.
Is there any way that Okanagan can counter that? Can you bring Green up? Can you try a little bit of misdirection, putting someone with a similar number back, just trying anything to get him into the game? Short handoff up the middle. Williamson keeping it simple, and that was James Green again. Looks like he is going to gain, let's call it 6 yards.
Greg Whalen came down very nicely and made the play there. To answer your question, there's not, you can back your guy up, but then they're going to kick it in front of them. The whole key is to try to get the ball to bounce. They've gotten it sometimes they've started on the 40.
Okanagan coming out of the eye on 2nd and 4 on the 33-yard line. Handoff to the first man, and he has got a hole, and away goes Dave Simpson. Big game, busted all the way up to the Edmonton 50, and that is what Okanagan needs.
Yeah, they need to get some kind of rhythm going. In the first half, they would get some good plays like this, and then they would have something go wrong. Let's see if Heath Williamson cannot fumble the snap, keep him onside, not have those illegal procedure penalties. If they can get this down and score a touchdown, they'll be back in this ball game.
I like the play selection, too. Just nothing fancy, very, very simple. Now split off, handoff up the middle of Green, and Green's got a gap on the left side. He is going to get a first down and more as he takes it down to the 35-yard line, and a very late flag coming in as on the tackle for the Edmonton Huskies, number 51, Matt LeMay.
Well, that time they brought their slot back in to give him a little extra blocking. It was a look that they hadn't shown in the first half against Edmonton, and Edmonton did not bring the halfback to counter that, so they had one extra guy. It'll be interesting here to see if this is a penalty against Edmonton.
Usually we have tripping, number 39, Edmonton.
Tripping.
First down.
How often do you see that called?
Not very.
So 2 minutes for tripping, going to number 39. That's Jason Bobst.
All right, again now, can they continue this without make Edmonton stop them? Don't stop themselves. That's what Okanagan's got to do right here.
You keep it on the ground?
I bet they will.
First and 10, 26-yard line, 9:30 to go here in the third quarter. Edmonton trailing Okanagan, trailing 24-0, and there is that handoff again. Nice simple playbook, bit of a short game this time, but Dave Simpson gaining positive yards, well, positive yard, we'll call it.
It looked like that one was going on the ground. It looked almost late getting the handoff to him. And Heath Williamson looked in like he was going to recover a fumble.
Loaded an honest chuck in on the tackle there.
Okay, so now you have 2nd and 9 on the 25. You don't want to take a sack here because you're going to knock yourself out of field goal range. You need to get something on the board. You need to give your defense something. So it's important here that they have a play that's going to be a positive yardage play.
Green split out to the side. Simpson in the backfield. I thought Green might have been outside. Over the middle. Oh! Incomplete, and a flag goes down. I think that is Chris Walsh.
I think you're going to get an illegal contact down here on the bottom of the field against number 20, LaRose.
So here we go on the replay. Almost a perfect throw. Full extension, and Chris Walsh just unable to come up with that. 5'8", fourth-year player out of Vernon Secondary, and we've got an injured.
Interference. Number 39, Edmonton. That'll give him a first down.
Got an injured member of the Edmonton Huskies on the field. Can't see a number from here.
It was actually on Jason Bobst. When the receiver came to the inside, he gave him a shot. Jason Bobst is one of those players.
Injured player, number 5, and that is Jordy Burroughs, the defensive back down on the play.
But Bobst is one of those players who's just looking for people to knock around. And that time the receiver came inside, Bobst gave him a forearm, illegal contact downfield. It's going to be a first down now for the Sun. That's the kind of breaks that they need. I thought that was a pretty good throw by Heath Williamson. Walsh dove for the ball, wasn't able to make a play, but he stood in the pocket real nice. He found the right guy, and they almost had a touchdown.
Showing some good confidence and poise back there in the pocket, and really hasn't put the ball in the air that much to this point. So now if you're the Okanagan Sun with 8:40 to go, 1st and 10 on the 15, this reopens all your options in the playbook. This is what I think we expected to see out of the Okanagan Sun in the first half when the coaches, both coaches, talked about establishing the run early. It was just early in the second half.
Yep.
Williamson now. Green, assault back, and Green taking the delay handoff up the middle, and that was just stuffed before it got anywhere.
That's honest, Chuck, and he came up and laid a lick on him. That was the same play they ran for the 10-yard gain the other way, where they brought the receiver in and then ran a little counter action. So a nice adjustment this time. They ran it to the right side, and Honest Chuck was there to stop that.
This may be just me, but I've never been a big fan of any play that involves handing the ball to the running back from a standing start.
Well, again, it's a counter. You're trying to get the linebacker to go the other direction. Honest Chuck is playing with a broken hand.
Now Williamson back to pass again. Little half roll to his left. He's under pressure. Throw. Gets away to Green. Green inside the 10 to the 5 before he is wrapped up. For a split second there, it looked like he would be able to go. That was Jason Bolts catching up with him again.
I think he's going to have a first down here. And again, a nice decision by Williamson. He has all day to throw. Can't find a receiver. So he's going to flush out the other way. He finds Green. Green makes a real nice move here. Instead of trying to go to the side, cuts it in and gets the first down. It's going to be very close, but I believe it's going to be a first down.
That was Brad Chamberlain.
Short by an inch.
Ouch. Not much of a decision here, Jim.
Nope. They're a yard off the ball, as Ron Lancaster always says. If you can't get a yard when they're a yard off the ball,
then you got a problem.
What you don't want here is any kind of illegal procedure. They need to get behind Big Dan Bishke and Chris Morrison, Vern Scogan, those big offensive linemen.
That was like going on a short count on these two. It just makes it, you know, a little bit easier not to go offside.
Morrison was all Canadian, and I think you're going to see him veer toward his right here and follow the big boy right through the middle. Oh my!
Williamson.
Well, they went to the right. They went to the right, but you always worry in those situations when you go backwards and hand the ball of somebody sliding through and making the tackle in the backfield.
James Green getting the ball deep, and I know that play caught you and I by surprise, Jim.
Yeah, but again, they went to the right side, right behind their big boys. Chris, 6'2" pounds. Sean, 6'3", 300 pounds. Great name.
Exactly. Okanagan for the ball. This guy's life. Great try. Get to the he just Lacusta there at the talk about guys that get it, Jim Barker. Lacusta, the tape on his arms. Mike McLean telling us before the game he writes down players that have been on defense with the Huskies to remember what the history and tradition of this team and of this game is all about.
Corey's been here for 5 years, and he believes that they're here today because of the legacy left by previous Huskies. So he has on his arm every single Husky player that's played on this defense.
There is Williamson with his backfield in the eye. Dave Simpson up front. And it's a rollout to the left. Bootleg. Williamson's going to keep it himself. Go to the end zone. Touchdown, Okanagan. Design play, the naked bootleg, and they pull it off to perfection, Jim.
Yeah, they're, again, taking advantage of the pursuit of the Husky defense. They're a very fast defense. They pursue. They fake to Green one way. Heath Williamson shows good speed around the outside. And then instead of throwing the ball, which he had a guy back there who was kind of covered, he puts his head down and gets the ball in the end zone. That's a big score for the
play like a establish way they established the run on that drive, forced the defense back Green in the backfield. They bid on the play, and as 24 Okanagan, 6 minutes and 9 here in the third quarter at Commonwealth Stadium. The 2004 Canadian Bowl brought to you by Signature Entertainment.
The Jim Barker Bowl is about, and we have the championship rings to prove it. The world of football as a arena. We will show you how to become more stronger and quicker football and prepare you for the upcoming NFL. Jim Barker scouts are looking for in young Canadian players. When it comes to who's more prepared, do not trust your football future to anyone but the best. You want to be a professional, you need to train with the professional. Jim Barker, School of Football.
Okay, what you're going to see here, again, the fake to green, the pursuit follows green, and now here comes Williamson. Thinks about throwing it, puts his head down, gets into the end zone. Big score for the Sun. That's the kind of football they wanted to play at the beginning in terms of running the ball, and running it a little bit more.
And Bowden honest, Chuck, you can say he maybe bit on the fake, and that was a well-executed play action.
Very well executed. Good ball handling by Heath Williamson. Again, just a huge score. Now that will pump up the Okanagan defense. If they can create a turnover here and get another quick score here, we got a 10-point ball game. Anything can happen in the fourth quarter.
And you just saw it in the way that they were running up to the ball on the line of scrimmage as they got down just towards the goal line and could smell that touchdown.
As soon as the offense gets a little going, everybody gets a little bit of bounce in their step. It just picks up the entire football team. So that's a huge score, a great drive. Again, doing the things the Okanagan Sun have done all year, running the ball.
These are Nathan Thomas and Jake Rock has seen the majority of the ball on return so far. For 47 on punt returns in the first half.
You have to give a lot of credit to Jay Christensen taking his club in at halftime, making the adjustments that he needed to make in the blocking scheme. They came out with the counter. They came out adding. You have to give the offensive staff of the Sun a lot of credit.
Cook this time sending the ball straight into the arms of Nathan Thomas down at about the 10-yard line, and Thomas straight up the middle. And I don't know, I think Edmonton might have got away with one there. I thought I saw a block in the back, number 70, Adam Cottrell. No flags on the play, 6:03 to go in the third quarter.
And now we're joined on the sideline by Eskimo Husky ball boys, Steve and Kyle. Boys, are you going to grow up to be future Huskies?
Yeah.
Good. You enjoy the game?
Yeah.
Great. Is there anybody at home that you'd like to say hi to?
I'd like to say hi to all my friends and family at home watching.
I'd also like to say hi to all my friends and family.
Great. Well, good enough. Back up to you, boys, up in the booth.
Christina St. Marche down sideline. And that time, Kelly McBrien, that high percentage pass, short pass not working.
Well, that was little play action off of the Buck sweep, and he came out here. He had Minucci open and just threw it behind him. You see him come out here? He's got him open and just threw it behind him. It might have been deflected.
Yeah, it looked like number 42, Matt Lamberting, the All-Canadian, got his hand on the ball. How many times we called that guy's number today?
He's 6'2", 260. He's got a chance to play in the Canadian Football League. He's got good size, and boy, is he a football player.
Kelly McBrien, straight drop, under pressure, throws over the middle. Has a man, it is complete. That was, looked like Brody Sveinson there in the catch.
Boy, he had Minucci open behind him and threw to the underneath guy, probably on 2nd and 10. Should have given Minucci just a tad longer, and he would have broken wide open for a first down. But they're going to have to punt the ball, and now the Sun could come right back, and if they can answer that last score with another, we're going to have ourselves a ball game, Dave.
Quick 2 and out for the Edmonton Huskies as the Sun get ready to take over. Kind of surprised we haven't seen more of number 75, Simon Fowl. He was the big weapon on offense. Had 2 catches for 50 yards. One of those a big 33-yarder, though, and hasn't seen the ball since. A lot of pressure from the Sun.
Boy, he shanked that one. They're going to get great field position here. It's going to be around the 50.
Official walking out, and it looks like he is going to spot it.
No, you're going the wrong way, Ref. Yeah, you know, as a coach, you stand on the sideline and you watch that guy keep walking forward as they're trying to line it up.
Keep
it's
going,
like, stop,
keep going.
Stop, or keep going, keep going.
Depending on which side of the ball
you're
right.
This is an important
you're
drive.
in the booth and you're trying to heckle the official,
Yeah,
Jim.
yeah.
You gotta remember your
I'm just
place.
telling you what, as a coach, the kinds of things you think about, like, big drive here.
Williamson trying to keep the momentum going. A little bit of motion. There's the handoff to Green, and Green taking tacklers with him as he goes upfield to about the 53-yard line, a gain of, let's call it 8 yards. And on the tackle for the Huskies, number 39, Jason Bobston there.
Jason Bobst and Corey LaCusta, the two linebackers. See Corey LaCusta here make first contact, and Jason Bobst finishes him off. Too many yards, though. That's 7 yards. They weren't getting 7 yards, 8 yards in the first half. Now those plays that were getting 2 and 3 yards, they're getting 6 and 7 yards. 2nd and 3 is a great situation for Okanagan.
Running up to the ball again, and it is going to be a handoff to Green. Green off tackle, and he has got the first down. Hard hit just over midfield. Well, heard that one from here.
That's Jason Bobst again. He's cleaned him up, and he is the prototype middle linebacker. Watch him here close. You'll see Green turn it up. That's Jason Bobst, number 39 right there. Not letting. But again, this is what Okanagan needs to do. Control the ball on the ground, get your 7 yards on first down.
Funny game football, the way momentum can swing like that. Edmonton still with the big lead, but they look back on their heels. Oh. Whoa, and Williamson, the ball slipped out of his hands. He was under huge pressure there, as coming from the backside was Bowden Honestchuk, and I think he felt the heat.
Yeah, well, I don't think he... Bowden Honestchuk was good.
Honestchuk.
Another great football name.
Yeah.
Bowden Honestchuk. He was coming on a blitz from the outside. Again, Mike McLean now, that's a sign that Mike McLean may be getting a little worried. He's changing up the defense. He's going to bring Honestchuk from the outside, but I don't even think he knew he was coming. I think that was just
that slipped. That was just one of those plays that you wish that they didn't have on slow motion to show it again and again and again. And get this, who's down for the Okanagan Sun? Number 3.
Well, James Green has been 45% of their offense. He catches the ball, he runs the ball throughout the final half of the season when he took over for Jeff Halverson. But he's walking off. I think he's going to be okay.
I wonder if that's just a little bit of delayed reaction from that big hit from Jason Bobst. The last play there, I mean, he hit him right in the off switch and just stopped that run cold.
Or to quote the Edmonton Husky players, hit him right in the mouth.
Hit him right in the mouth. Aggressive defense here by the Huskies, and that's what they need if they're going to snuff what has the makings of an Okanagan Sun rally. Now Williamson back, rolling to his right as he is getting pursued, caught by the sidelines, driven out at about the 52-yard line. Mike McLean talked about the team tackling, a real swarming defense from the Huskies here. Everyone wants to get a piece of the tackle.
Yeah, and they have great team speed, which allows them to do that. And every time you see the ball, you're going to find 3-4 tacklers around him. And Mike McLean was a defensive player. He has a defensive mentality. And those are the kind of guys he recruits for his program, guys who fly to the football.
And again, a teammate of Okanagan coach Jay Christensen during their days in the early 90s with the Eskimos. We were trying to get a little bit of dirt, and all Christensen would tell us was that Mike McLean was more of a free spirit than he was back in their days with the team. Andrew Patzer back to punt. And not a great one, a low driving kick. Bouncing down to the 10-yard line. Fielded by the Huskies and stopped at the 22-yard line. That is number 5, Jordy Burrows.
Actually, the punt worked out okay. I think he kicked it off the side of his foot, but they got a nice bounce. Again, Okanagan has them deep in their territory, inside the 25. The key here is force them to punt from there. You're going to get the ball around midfield, put you in good position to score.
Conversely, you're the Edmonton Huskies now. You're back on offense. You're Kelly McBrien. You've got a lot of poise back there. What do you have to do to get momentum back on your side?
Get back to the things that work. The mixing the run and the pass, a little bit of play action. Off sweep.
And look at this. Guess who's back in the ball game? Number 35, Josh Myshak. He was getting a little bit of a breather in the second quarter and in the early part of the third quarter. But now, with Okanagan starting to show some signs of life, you bring in the Terminator.
Yeah, but look at Matt Lammerding again. He misses the tackle, but forces him back inside to the pursuit.
Now McBrien rolling out under pressure. Has man downfield, and it is complete at the 46-yard line, and that is Marat. Check that. That was number 70 on the catch. That was Adam Cottrell.
Just a very well executed play. A little rollout, one of the first plays you put in training camp. A little flat route with a trail behind it and a streak on the outside. And what a beautiful throw by Kelly McBrien, the 5-year veteran coming through when they need it.
A little bit of cloud cover now in Commonwealth, starting to cool things off a bit. Play action works, and now the swing pass out to the side to Myshak, and Myshak just driving those legs like pistons, takes the Sun defense with him for an Edmonton first down.
Again, that big fullback is such a factor when you can get him the ball out on the edge with little DBs coming up to tackle him. What McBrien's doing now is getting him back in rhythm. You see, they go back to the no huddle. That's what they had to do. They have to get back into their rhythm. And just a great job by McBrien getting them there.
When you got a fullback the size of Myshak that can also run like that, keep the legs moving. 1st and 10 now on the Sun side of the field. And that pass was batted away. Intended for Misho Kalu. Not sure who got the hand on the ball there. Looked like it was number 60 for the Okanagan Sun.
No, I think that was Hiro Tanaka.
Hiro Nakano, the defensive lineman.
Hiro Nakano. And if you're a defensive lineman and you can't get there, you get your hands up, a lot of times you're going to be able to knock the ball down.
2nd and 10. Play action. And Okanagan doesn't bite on it. And guess who?
Matt Lammerding.
You are correct, sir.
They also brought Andrew Patzer off the backside edge, so that, again, a little bit of pressure, expecting the pass play. There's Patzer, force him to bring it down, and our boy Matt Lammerding right there to make the play.
And a great read too, because Kelly McBrien, another great play action, another great play fake there, but this time Lammerding just not biting on it.
Well, the play action on 2nd and 10, Dave, doesn't
Yeah, you're not going to fool a lot of people with that one.
Quite the cloud as a play action does on 1st down.
Wazimurski back the punt, high snap, he gets it down, a lot of pressure, manages to get the kick away and back, and over the head of number 80 for the Okanagan Sun as he picks it up inside his 5-yard line, Dave Fort.
It hurts you, he misplayed it, the ball carried over his head. Again, the wind may be kicking up a bit. He misjudges the ball goes over Court's head. Now this is a key drive for them. This is the kind of drive that is an offense. When you start on your 10, if you can't get some first downs, you're going to give up points. It's actually the percentage is if you have to punt the ball for 10 and in, the other team's going to score 83% of the time, Dave.
Inside 45 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Lots of running plays. Clock has been moving quickly through the 2nd half of play. There is Williamson on the handoff. Green caught his breath, and he is out to about the 14-yard line. We'll call that a gain of about 3-4 yards. 4 yards then. 2nd and 6. Clock is still running. They will be able to get... No, their 20-second clock hasn't started yet. They're not going to have to run another play before time runs out here in the 3rd quarter.
This, again, to me is a very, very big play, because if they don't get this first down, the percentages for Edmonton to come and score on the next drive are large.
Play clock down to 0. Williamson rolling out to his left again, and there's the throw, and someone got a hand on that, hanging up in the air. And the old tip drill, and that was almost picked off by Andrew Askin. Once again, Jim, we haven't seen that play work all afternoon. Rolling out to the left, forcing the quarterback to throw across his body, and forcing him to, and trying to get him to throw deep.
Well, one of the things that Edmonton's doing, we'll talk about when we come back.
Canadian Junior Football would like to thank the following sponsors for their generous support.
A hometown hero trying to escape his past.
I came here to meet my father.
And who might that be? In a small town that plays by its own rules.
Welcome, please, Keith Getler!
Way to go, Keith! Come on, rebels!
But when secrets are left unspoken.
Cassandra Jones came by the station this morning. Some football players bumped her off the road last night. Wasn't me.
You gonna arrest one of my boys?
The truth remains untold.
You arrest them, you cuff them, you get them kicked off the football team. Put their pictures in the paper, because that's how folks like me get justice around here.
What are you gonna make me do? Apologize?
Now,
She's my daughter, all right?
when tragedy hits close to home,
I need you to tell me who did this to you, okay? I need to be the one to take her down.
it's time to take a stand. Can a man of honor uphold the law and still keep the peace?
The town will turn on you, Billy.
You took an oath to uphold the law, not to make everybody happy.
It's not about winning. It's about finding the courage to do what's right.
You quit on yourself and you quit on me.
I did not quit.
Starring Rick Johnson, Meatloaf, Ashley Johnson, and Zachary Ty Bryan. Rustin. Coming soon.
Minutes left on the clock at the 2004 Canadian Bowl, brought to you by Signature Entertainment. Dave Rowe up in the booth along with the coach Jim Barker. The Huskies hoping they're 15 minutes away from a dip. Okanagan Sun have the ball. They're getting ready to punt from deep in their own zone. And Jim, what was that percentage again?
Well, 83%, so we'll see if the Huskies can do this. And what Edmonton's doing on defense is they're doubling that single receiver. They're have a corner with a safety over the top of him, forcing the quarterback to roll to the left, and neither quarterback for Okanagan has been very effective rolling to their left.
And if you can force those Okan quarterbacks to go to their left, you know that they're not going to be overly effective. Patser with another punt. Bit of a wobbler there to Marat. And right away on the tackle. Great special teams coverage. That was Blaine Bartoli, 5'9", 210. First year, remember, the Okanagan Sun out of Graceland University in Iowa.
Yeah, he's a backup linebacker that has a great future with the Sun and doing a great job on special teams. That's a huge open field tackle because there was a lot of yards to be gained up the sideline if he gets by Bartoli.
So the Sun defense being called upon to come up with something big here, almost to the point where you got to start thinking about trying to force turnovers. They had that great takeaway ratio all season long. They've got to get the ball back and make something happen. McBrien rolling out, evades a tackle. There's the toss. Out to number 8.
Well, Duncan McLean just introduced himself to Kelly McBrien, and I have a feeling Mike McLean may put that play on the back burner if he wants his quarterback to finish the game.
Misho Kalu, yeah, the old option, another play that you don't see too much. Mike McLean going back through the historical football playbook. A couple of Vince Lombardi plays, the option, Statue of Liberty, can it be far behind? Second down and 12 yards to go now. They're on their own 52. McBrien with the straight drop timing pattern, has a man out of bounds. The intended receiver on that play, again, the big tight end, Christian Minucci.
Well, that's the same play they ran before, and remember when I said if he would have held the ball on second down a little longer and gone to Minucci? Well, the same play, this time they were playing man coverage, and they got it covered. Great job by the Sun defense. One of those 17% when the other team didn't score when they couldn't get a first down from inside their 10.
Well, playing the percentage just doesn't pay off this time.
Looked like Christian Minucci came up with a little bit of a hamstring problem there, and he's such a key part of the run and the pass game for them. So we'll see if we can find out how he's going to be.
Wozmerski didn't have the punch blocked, and a lot of frustration from number 33 as Cord has trouble handling the ball again. David Bloxham got in and had a great opportunity to block that punt. Pumping his fist in anger, he knew he had a chance.
We're joined now by Gord Cook, president of the Winnipeg Rifles. Gord, this is quite a day here, and I understand you've got quite a program going on in Winnipeg. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your football program in Manitoba?
Well, this is our third year in the Prairie Football Conference, and we started about 6 years ago, and it took us 3 years to get our program together, and I believe that we're ahead of schedule in our long-term plan. We made the playoffs this year, came in third in the PFC, which is a very tough conference, as everybody knows, and we're just thrilled to be a member of the PFC and the CJFL again in Winnipeg.
Well, I agree with you. This is the PFC is a tough league, and congratulations and good luck in.
Down and 6 yards to go after a short gain for the Okanagan Sun. Once again, Williamson back. A little bit of a half roll over the middle. And Chris Walsh, he's been open, he's been getting balls to him, but he hasn't been able to make the catches, Jim.
Yeah, again, that's a tough catch. He needed to hold the ball just a tad longer. He's rolling right, a little delay to Walsh, And it hit him right in the hands. I think that one needed to be caught. If he holds it a little longer, that linebacker's not there in his kitchen, making it tough for him to. The concentration comes when you have a linebacker standing right there, and you're a little guy like Walsh. You kind of feel that guy's presence.
And what's the old line? You get the crocodile arms. You keep the arms in close to the body. Alligator arms. There we go. Patzer on the snap. No pressure at all from Edmonton as they try to set up the return. Ball bouncing and rolling at midfield. Recovered by Dathan Thomas, and he doesn't get too much of anything before he is quickly wrapped up by Salim Borhode for Okanagan.
Well, again, that drive for Okanagan, they ran the ball on first down, only got 2 yards. They're back to what was happening in the first half. They need to be more successful on first down.
1st and 10, just over the midfield stripe now for the Edmonton Huskies. Time certainly on their side there, and field position. McBrien, single setback, fakes the toss, rolls to his right, fires downfield complete.
That's Cottrell again, and Cottrell's been his favorite receiver today. Simon Fowle, we haven't heard much of. Cottrell has been his favorite receiver. Nice little outcut. You see McBrien set his feet well, throw a perfect strike.
Simon Fowle lining up wide left. Kind of has the open hand, sort of the what's going on, give me the ball signal. There's the handoff.
Oh, there
up
goes
the middle.
Myshak.
Big play for Myshak. First down.
Short yardage defense, they bring those linebackers up tight. If you can break through that first line of defense,
daylight
gives you a great opportunity.
So it's another first down for the Edmonton Huskies. Marching slowly but surely towards that Okanagan end zone. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. 11:36 to go in the 4th quarter and the game. McBrien over the middle, has a man.
James Watson, again, this time we've seen that play 3 times. The first time, Jordan Weavers was off quite a bit. The second time he was right there, but they made the play. This time he's there to make the play. This is an outstanding defensive play by Jordan Weavers.
2nd and long now. Ball on the 32-yard line. Have to try and stop him here. Set up another one of those frightening long field goals. See what McBrien pulls out here. Myshak rolling left, looking right, and that one just going nowhere fast, as downfield was James Watson.
And again, he was hit right as he threw the ball by my hero, the Hero
Nakano.
And Hero Nakano's played very well in there. We heard a lot about Jordan Fast and Austin McLennan, and kind of the unsung hero in there is
the hero.
The hero.
So here we go, lining up. We'll call it a 40-yarder, about 39 and a half.
James Green is not deep, so I wonder if he was hurt on that hit by Bobst earlier.
There it is. It is up and missed to the right. Recovered, trying to run it out. Oh, and a big hit down at the 5-yard line. Was that Jordan Weavers deep on that return?
That was Dathan Thomas. Offensive player going down on special teams, and Dathan Thomas has stepped in real nice for Myshak, giving him some rest, and watch him come down and lay a lick on
Jordan Weavers just got lit. Man, again, another one of those hits that you can hear up here.
And again, James Green has been the returner all year, and you wonder why James Green is not returning in this final game.
And James Green remains on the bench as the Sun go back on offense. So you think that, yeah, he must have been hurt. That big hit from Jason Bobst. He was able to spring up and stay in the game, but you can do that, and then a few seconds later you start to feel the impact, because that was a big league hit up here at midfield a couple of series ago. 10:54 to go in the 4th quarter and the game as the Okanagan Sun take over once again. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Again, that short return run out of the end zone. Ball spotted at the 20. Williamson going deep. Double coverage. And he was lucky that one wasn't picked off, as double coverage by Andrew Askin and J.R. LaRose once again.
And Andrew Askin leads the Huskies in interceptions. He has 5 interceptions. He has a nice job. Remember early we talked about how the free safety comes up on run support. They play action, try to get him up. Andrew Askin doesn't bite. He stays back, and he threw that one up for grabs. He's fortunate it wasn't picked off.
Over on the sideline, Billy McConkey staying loose in case he has to come back in the game. Can't blame the Sun for trying to go deep on that one. They are running out of time here. Clock now down to 10:24 as they get ready to put the ball in play on second down. One-step drop, throw to the wide right. It is complete. And looked like Chris Walsh getting out there.
No, that's Matt Lambros.
Matt Lambros making the play.
Who earlier on that same play broke one for 70 yards earlier this year. He averages 28.7 yards a reception, and they haven't been able to get him involved at all. And I think that's hurt him in terms of stretching the Edmonton defense. So, you know, they now don't have James Green in. Brian Craig is now in a tailback, and there we see Green. Without him, he was 45% of their offense, and it's tough to come back when you don't have your top playmaker.
Patzer to punt one more time here. He's back in his own 11-yard line. And again, a one-hopper. And Patzer's going to take off. And Patzer's got all kinds of room. What a gutsy call. And I think that was Andrew Patzer calling his own number all the way, Jim.
That was a tip. You see Paul McCallum do that all the time with the for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. He'll make sure he's getting rushed. That time he just had no rush on him. They went back to set up a return. Andrew Patzer, very, very nice play to put the ball down and get the first down. He only had 4 yards to go. A great risk at this time. I don't think that was a call play. That was just something that developed.
Seizing the opportunity. Injured play. I think that is James Moran, the slot back.
Yeah, with Green already out, they can't afford to lose Jason Moran.
9060. And if that is your number, please go to the East Side Concourse souvenir booth.
Once again, I saw that on the last time Patzer was back to punt.
That's number 173-9060.
Jim, what's with the sad eyes? We've been through this. And we agreed as partners, we'd be ready to make some tough choices. Right now, it's too expensive for both of us to go. Listen, I'll call you the second I'm done. Okay?
Next time, get on board with Jetsco super low fares.
Jetsco, pay a little, fly a lot.
4,300, Dave.
4,300, great attendance. I think the organizers of this Canadian Bowl have to be happy with that. They have been into the game. And the score, I don't think indicative. This has been a really entertaining afternoon, Jim.
Yeah, it's been a good football game. The score's 24-7, but there's been just interesting things going on both sides of the ball. I think we've seen quality defense and offenses that are attacking those defenses effectively, and it's been a very interesting game to watch.
And Patzer there just taking advantage of the opportunities. Before we went to break, I was mentioning on the last play, the Huskies just, again, no effort to rush. They're just looking to set up return all the way. Same play this time, and Patzer just saw a whole bunch of open field, and that's the kind of thing that you can get away with once.
Right, and again, it's obvious these teams work a lot on special teams. Now, normally you have one guy assigned to the punter to force the punt, and I can guarantee you Mike McLean went to that guy and said, "Where were you?"
Williamson getting set, waiting for the play to be blown in.
And Brian Craig's still at tailback, so James Green must be injured.
Looking for James Green down on the bench. Saw him walking up earlier. Don't see him now.
So now I think for Okanagan, they don't have James Green. Dave Simpson has been successful for him running the ball inside. I think maybe they can pound him up in a little bit. Again, I haven't seen Brian Craig, but I know Jay Christensen is high on him for the future. And again, I think it's important now that they can continue to move the ball.
But James Green makes Dave Simpson more effective simply because the defense is looking for him. And now without that decoy, and Simpson that time a little eager getting out of the backfield.
I'm not sure the Okanagan Sun could beat the Edmonton Huskies throwing the ball every down. And again, you don't know if they're getting away from the run game because of no James Green, or if they just feel like they need to throw now because it's 24-7. This is a team that's won by running the football.
Offside that time.
And I've been in Canada long enough to know 24-7 can evaporate in a matter
Offside,
of moments.
number 6, Okanagan. That's decline, second down.
Matt Lambros getting the call there. I thought that Dave Simpson was over the line before the ball was snapped.
Yeah, well,
and again, the right call, 2nd and 10. You don't need that 5 yards at this point.
Yeah, Matt Lambros must have lined up offside because he's a wide receiver. He's not a slot, so he's not motioning. So he must have been lined up offsides.
2nd and 10, ball on the 37. 9:15 to go as Williamson barks out the signals. And here we go. They're staying with the pass. Williamson, under a lot of pressure, gets it away. And not a whole lot happening for Duncan Akers as he was tackled right away.
Again, he had Greg Whalen all over him. He's throwing the ball. These two edge rushers, LeMay and Whalen, are just very quick off the edge. And the tackles, Kozlowski and Como, are both having trouble with him. A nice spin move there by Whalen. And it's hard to set up a passing game when you're getting that kind of pressure on the outside.
3rd and 8 on the 38. And Jim, I'm willing to bet a buck here that Patzer is not going to fake this one.
I bet you somebody will force the punt.
Wind's starting to pick up now, and Patzer going to be punting into a good breeze, and once again it bounced, and there's the Huskies a little more aggressive on the outside contain this time. High spiraling punt to Marai. He fields it on the 25-yard line, trying to get outside, cuts back in, and he is wrapped up and taken down. Greg Whitbeck got a hold of his ankle and wouldn't let go. Let's go to Christina St. Marche.
Blocks him from the front, or the tackle rather, for the Sun. 41-yard punt, 5-yard return has the Huskies 1st and 10 just over their own 35-yard line.
We're now joined by CJFL Commissioner Doug Fern. Doug, your thoughts on the game?
I think, Christina, it's been an excellent game to date here. The weather has certainly cooperated, but we can see that how both teams got to this championship. It's been good defensive game. The Edmonton Huskies, though, took advantage of some opportunities early in the game and to get a good lead on the Okanagan Sun. But since then, both defenses have played very well, and it's been going back and forth in a very good game.
It's been a great game, and the weather has cooperated with us. Boy, you're right.
It certainly has. It was wonderful to have this type of weather at this time of the year. Here in Edmonton, it's been great, and a great crowd here today to watch the game and to see the 2 best junior teams in Canada.
Thank you so much, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Back to you.
Christina St. Marche down again on the sidelines, and Jim Barker, 2 plays and 2 very quick first downs. James Watson with a quick reception, and once again, another big play by Josh Myshak, busting another first down. They are 1st and 10 from the Okanagan 46-yard line.
Yeah, the play to Watson, they caught him in man coverage, underthrew the ball a little. Watson did a nice job of coming back. Now they got the ball in Okanagan territory.
First down, fumbled snap.
I think Austin McLennan might have that one.
And that was just a mishandled snap, and the Sun defense not even waiting for the call. They just get up and off the field.
Sorry, it was the hero. It was not Austin McLennan.
Hero Nakano on the fumble recovery. And Kelly McBrien just didn't get that snap cleanly. He was turning around trying to hand it off, and the ball was on the turf.
Again, we've seen that happen a couple times with Okanagan Sun. It hasn't happened with the Edmonton Huskies. They've had a couple of busted plays where either the quarterback or back went the wrong way. Again, another big drive for the Okanagan Sun. They need to get something going. Billy McConkey's back.
Billy McConkey back in quarterback as Jay Christensen shuffles the deck, looking to get something going with 7:20 to go in the game. Toss over the middle. Ouch. And that is what happens when you don't field the ball cleanly. Greg Whitbeck coming out of the backfield, got one arm on it, and he just got cranked.
Again, they're running a little circle route. Edmonton's bringing 5 guys. They're pressuring them. They're daring the Okanagan Sun to beat them throwing the ball. And they're bringing 5 guys, forcing Billy McConkey to make plays.
That's one thing Billy McConkey hasn't had too much luck doing so far as he threw behind his receiver on that. 2nd and 10 on the 45. And here we go again, rolling out left, trying to throw across his body. Under pressure and down. And getting in to make the sack for the Huskies that time was Greg Whalen.
Again, that front four, Greg Whalen, the great speed, caught Billy McConkey from behind. Again, they put Dave Simpson in a tailback. You're going to see LeMay come off the edge here, force him to pull up, and then here comes his buddy on the other end, Whalen, to make the tackle from behind. Great speed again by the Edmonton Husky defense.
Back to punt one more time. Patzer, and once again a low snap. That's one aspect of the special teams that hasn't been working too well for the Okanagan Sun. And again, it is Marat fielding the ball on the bounce.
I tell you what, Dave, I don't think I've ever watched a Canadian game where there's been as many punts as there are, and there hasn't been one no-yards penalty. Just incredible discipline by these two teams. There hasn't been one.
Let's go sideline now. Christina St. Marche.
Good afternoon. We're joined now by Ron Osterkamp, the president of the PFC. Ron, what do you think about the matchup of these two teams?
Well, I think it was great. I mean, we had Okanagan coming in. Unfortunately, though, with the Edmonton Huskies, with the competitive nature that we have here in the Prairie Football Conference, as you can see today, they're a little bit outgunned and outmatched. And it's not to say that Okanagan's not a good team, it's just the competition level that they are up against versus where we are is truly different.
I know it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Back to you, Jim and Dave.
Well, we've been waiting to call his number for a while, and finally Simon fouled Jim a little razzle-dazzle on the reverse for a big gain.
They've been running the buck sweep. They run the buck sweep reverse. Simon foul. He gets a lot of yards. Now they're down to the 35. I think it was a 30-yard gain.
1st and 10 now from the Okanagan 35-yard line. And I think this would just about pretty much put the final nail in the coffin. McBrien, and again a fumble in the backfield. Swarming Okanagan Sun defense in there to make the play.
And that was a fumble on the exchange. That's a quarterback or center problem. You'll see it right there. I mean, he never had the ball and just kind of threw it to O'Gorman. So O'Gorman is left there to get the ball. That's quarterback or center problem. And it's weird this time of the game that it's starting to happen.
Yeah, a couple of late exchanges. A veteran quarterback here with a chance to close out a game. No desperation on his part, no worries about moving the clock. Now down just outside of 5 minutes. 2nd down and 15 from the Okanagan 40. And a time count violation.
Yeah, now you got a time count. So now you're out of field goal range. And again, they have the ball on the 35-yard line. It's a long field goal, but you're at least in field goal range. Now you fumble a snap, lose 5 yards, you lose 5 more yards on this. Again, now they'll be looking, you don't necessarily look for the 20-yard gain. Try to get the ball, try to get half of it back. Try to get